Fawcett Stadium in Canton, Ohio. It's the 2009 International Federation of American Football Junior World Championship. And on this Independence Day in America, they come from all over the world. It's Japan taking on Mexico in the bronze medal game. Kevin Eschenfelder alongside Charles Davis. Good to welcome you. And, you know, you go through life and you say, man, that's a day I'll never forget. These young men are getting a month and maybe more that they will never forget in their lives.
Playing American football in close proximity with 7 other countries, learning how they do things, making friends that they hope they will keep for life. A terrific time for all of them. And by the way, they get to hit each other too. I'm jealous. How come this wasn't around when I was coming up?
Yeah, it's a great week for all of these kids, making friends of a lifetime. And just show you who's here exactly and just how they did get here. United States and Canada, they pre-qualified. They get the automatic bid. Mexico defeating Panama in the Pan American region. You've also got Germany, Sweden, France, and New Zealand. We talk about Japan and look at how they got here, because Japan wins over Team Germany. They lost to Canada in a close game, nearly pulled off the upset. Team Mexico defeating Sweden and lost to the U.S. Yuichiro Araki is the man who leads the way as far as this Japanese team is concerned. Again, nearly pulling off the biggest upset. The quarterback was really under control, and he nearly pulled it off against Canada.
Very poised in the pocket. He's the guy who led Japan to a win over a U.S. All-Star team last year in Japan and was terrific against Canada. 285 yards in the air, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. I love his game. His #1 receiver, Junpei Yoshimoto. We're going to call him Jumpy. 2 touchdown catches against Canada, one of them a spectacular one over the shoulders in the end zone.
A guy that doesn't want to be jumpy in this game is Roberto Isaias Vegas. He's the quarterback for Mexico, the man who makes it go. If they can give him some time, he can hurt this Japanese defense.
Had 0 against the United States, was under pressure all night, but in their previous game against Sweden, 2 touchdowns in the air, 1 running the football. And their defense wants to atone for their performance. They'll be led by number 40, Giovanni Carrillo, the big guy in the middle. Dresses the part, looks the part, and can't wait to smack someone on the field.
All right, let's get more on this matchup, and for that, we introduce you to the 3rd member of our team, Samantha Steele.
Thanks, guys. This morning I got the chance to sit down with Mexico's offensive coordinator, Juan Carlos Maya. And guys, he was giving me a hard time because he said we have no idea in America how huge football is in Mexico. He said it's actually bigger than soccer and baseball, and in college right now it's the most popular sport. Now, he's excited about this matchup tonight because he feels like he's going to be able to demonstrate how far they've come over the years. When I asked him who had the big advantage in tonight's game, he gave me about the most honest answer he could. He said, we do, because we have better coaching. Now, I haven't gotten an answer that honest in a long time from a coach, but he said it's because their position coaches are actually head coaches at the college level. Now, Japan would probably have something to say about that, but they've been incredibly tight-lipped at Walsh University. Seems they only come out of the dorms for meals. Back to you guys.
Strong and silent type from Japan, so it's Team Japan going against Team Mexico. The bronze medal game, it's coming up next here on Fox College Sports. The 2009 IFAF Junior World Championship is brought to you by Under Armour, the fastest generation of cleats. By Riddell, the official football protective equipment partner of USA Football. The Hall of Fame Enshrinement Festival. It's a one-of-a-kind celebration. Welcome you back here to Canton, Ohio, as Team Mexico, well represented, taking on Team Japan here in the bronze medal game. The Junior World Championships here in Canton. Well, Team Mexico won the toss. They have deferred their decision to the second half. This is a Mexican team that comes in after a loss 55-0 to U.S. on Wednesday. And there they beat Sweden 41-0. Our keys to the game are brought to you by Gatorade and Wilson, official product partners of the Junior World Championships. What do you got for keys as far as these two teams are concerned?
Well, when you take a look at things, Kevin, from Japan's size does not matter. All right, they're always outweighed, but they're never outfought, never out-hustled. That's one of the things about Japan. And then on your toes, they have a ton of trick plays that they'll run. Mexico has to be alert. For Mexico, they need to open things up. Totally shut down by the U.S., only 35 yards of total offense. They want to get things untracked. And then on defense, tough guys time. The defense looks the part. Wait till you see them out there on the field. Now can they play it against a tricky Japan offense?
Oshawa and Yoshimoto back deep, awaiting the kick from David Antonio Aceves. Aceves hits this one downfield, and the up man will take it at the 25-yard line. And down to the 42. So good field position for Japan to get this thing started. Isagawa came up and returned that one 16 yards, and first down and 10 is Japan. This is a kitchen sink offense, if you will, because they will throw just about everything at you. If you like the trick plays, you're going to love this. You see Yuichiro Araki, confident, elusive, 6'1", 205 pounds. Out of the gun. Set up the bubble screen, complete, and plenty of room to run, and inside Mexico territory down to the 45-yard line is Endo makes the catch and takes it ahead. Beg your pardon, it's Hayashi. 14-yard gain as we take a look at the lineups. Brought to you by the Pro Football Hall of Fame, America's premier sports showplace and museum. Big guys up front, Wada, Kaizu, Katano, Ito, and on the right side, Tabata. There's your backs and receivers. Keeping your eye on Shun Katagawa, I beg your pardon. He's the guy that in that backfield, he's very elusive and a tough runner. This one is caught and down the sideline. A quick scoring drive to get this thing started, and Shoma Endo takes it 46 yards, and just like that, it took all of 42 seconds for Japan to get on the board.
One of the things that you hear about spread offenses is how much they want to get people in space and create one-on-one matchups. How about this for a graphic example? It's a one-on-one tackle in the open field, and once he was unable to get him on the ground and he slipped the second one, down the sideline he goes, Endo for the initial score of the game.
Daniel Espinoza was the man who missed the tackle, and 46 yards later, it's 6-0. The point after is good, and 7-0 with just 32 seconds going by here. 42 seconds, I beg your pardon. How about Shoma Endo? He caught it and knew what to do with it, didn't he?
And then added the extra point afterwards. Had a little on top.
So Endo 7, the Mexican team nothing.
But again, anytime it's a spread offense, they want to create one-on-one matchups, which are the toughest tackles in football, open field. And in this case, a nice strike from Araki to Endo. Makes one guy miss, a second guy misses, and he's off to the races.
Good start for Japan, needless to say.
And so much is emphasized, and I did it in the open, about the trick plays that Japan will run. Their basic offense is tough enough to defend. They do a great job mixing formations, matching up personnel, getting the ball to their best players in space. And we've already seen that it's paid off with a 7-0 lead.
51-yard drive, if you can call it that. 46 coming on one play. Dropped at the 20, hit immediately and brought down. Ball's loose again, and I believe Japan's got it. They do. So the breaks all going the way of Japan. Onuma came up with the recovery, and so Japan will have the football once again.
The ball's never kicked very deep by Japan on kickoffs or even punts, but their coverage is excellent. As soon as the ball's fumbled, there's someone there to knock down the ball carrier and knock it free. Terrific job. And then Kohei Unama picks it up. There's the fumble initially.
Yeah, Arroyo never really got it. It went right through the wickets.
Yep. Now I'll be interested in seeing if Japan wants to attack right away. Great job on the coverage. Big hit right out of the gate by number 16 there. Kezaburo Isagawa.
Drops to throw. Araki throwing for the corner and just overshot the intended receiver, Hayashi.
I love the way they attacked on the first play after the turnover. Catch a defense a little unsettled and go right after them.
Well, again, the starting lineups brought to you by the Pro Football Hall of Fame, America's premier sports showplace and museum. As you take a look at that defensive front, linebackers, Carrillo, keep an eye on him, Aceves as well in that linebacking core. And there's the guys, those defensive backs. They've been burned once, and they're trying to make up for that now. Japan's got a short field to work with. We are not quite 60 seconds deep in this game. Japan has the lead. And standing by at the 23-yard line right now of Mexico with a timeout on the field. Yuichiro Araki, 6'1", 205 pounds, called the timeout. And this is where you'll see this American game of football, which in the United States, we may think is very in its infantile state as far as other countries are concerned, but that's not exactly the case. These kids, they understand. You can look at the intricacies of these offenses. I mean, we're not even a minute into this, and you can tell this is some pretty advanced stuff on the international level.
The spread is just taken over in the United States, and all the teams here in this tournament running some version of the spread offense. And you're talking about the idea that maybe it's in its infancy, the thinking from the United States perspective. This is the 75th anniversary of American football in Japan.
And they've been playing since 1923 in Mexico. The pregame injury report is courtesy of Altman and Mercy Sports Medicine. Japan's got some folks out. Mexico good to go. All hands on deck. And that went off right up the middle. And Mexico not falling for it as they go to the fullback, Kitagawa. But the guys up front, Galvan, Valisas, all those guys right there in the front. Patino also in on that tackle, is strong in the middle for Team Mexico, and they're going to need to be that way.
Yeah, you saw the Mexico defensive front, and I think you can refer back to what I talked about. They look the part.
Yeah.
You know, they come out and they have a lot of pride in their defense and want to be aggressive. They didn't have that opportunity against the U.S. Getting a stop here would be huge for them.
They throw this one to Yoshimoto at the 15. And taken down there, he's going to be short of a first down, so a fourth down is coming up now.
Don't be surprised if they go for it.
Gomez Junta with the tackle, the strong safety coming up. It was a gain of 7 on a third down, I beg your pardon, and 10. So it'll be a 4th down and 3. They'll go for it here.
Hata in at quarterback.
Look at this.
Run something tricky.
Here we go. Japan, he's got the first down, and more is Inoue, takes it all the way down to the 4-yard line. Shun Inoue, Edgar Moreno finally ran him out of bounds, but you see the trickery that Japan will throw at you.
I could see my college coach, Johnny Majors, right there saying, hey, they're lining up for the swinging gate. Looked like the old swinging gate, and then they ran a counter off of the swinging gate, which picked up the first down. Terrific job by Japan, keeping the drive alive, trying to punch in a second touchdown early in the first quarter.
On a 4th and 3, they pick up 9 to the 3-yard line. First down, goal to go for Team Japan, already leading 7-0. They'll keep it here, and Takashiro Hata, who had come in to play quarterback, he's played in all 3 of these games, and, you know, they played 3 quarterbacks last time out. Jose Miguel Garcia coming up from that middle linebacker spot to make the stop. It was a loss of 2, so back it back up to the 5-yard line, and we'll redo it at 2nd down and goal.
And anytime you see Hata in the game at quarterback, think quarterback run series. That's what he's in for. He also is used at times as a split receiver, and they've used him to throw a pass off of a reverse, and now they're going to go back with their starter, Araki, in at quarterback.
Kitagawa, the single setback. He'll throw this one, and it's complete. Jumpy's got it. Touchdown. Jumpy Yoshimoto. Edgar Moreno had the coverage, but Jumpy just got there a little bit early. He's 5'6", 140 pounds. He caught that when he pulled it in, and it's a touchdown for Team Japan, the 5-yard pitch and catch.
Great example of how great his hands are, because this ball's on the wrong shoulder. That ball should be thrown to the outside. He threw it to the inside, and his receiver absorbed a big hit and still held on for the touchdown.
Shoma Endo for the point after, and Endo, who has a touchdown, has a couple of points after now. Yoshimoto had the hold. 8:50 to go. We're in the first quarter of play. It's been all Team Japan. Well, Japan getting on the board quick. 14-0. Mexico has yet to possess the football. And I mean that literally, because on the kickoff a moment ago, it went right through Arroyo's hands. Here we are right next to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What a pleasure that was. My first time to visit earlier today.
My first time since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
What a terrific time to go through that beautiful museum.
Fernandez back deep. He will field this one cleanly at the 21-yard line. And weaving his way out to the 35. Well, Mexico will do something that they have yet to do today, and that is run an offensive play. And Numa down on the coverage. He had the tackle. 8:42 to go. We're in the first quarter. Team Mexico looking to get things going and get their offense on the field. There's Roberto Asayas Vega enters the huddle at 6'4", 225 pounds. You talk about this Team Mexico team, the players looking the part. Mr. Vega looks the part. On the delay. And that ball's on the ground, and it bounced right back up to Juan Carlos Maya, who, when he received that football on that zone read, all he was reading was white jerseys because he had a lot of folks around him. All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups. Once again, brought to you by the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The guys up front, Gomez and Segura, Castillo, Zamora, and Vasquez up front. There you see the backs and receivers. Keep an eye on number 1, Juan Carlos Maya. Alejandro Rodriguez is the tight end. Gonzalez and Galindo back there as well, one of the favorite receivers. And now they'll throw it. Has an open man, caught midfield, 45-yard line, and down to the 40, so a good gainer, but he lost the ball at the end of the play. They'll say he's down as Ino came up with it. Shota Ino came up with it, a 28-yard gain. And he found the right man in the right place. He knew what to do with it once he got it.
At the top of the show, we said that if Vega had an opportunity to throw the football, he possessed a nice arm and good accuracy, and we got to see it right here. Plenty of time, puts it right on the money for number 4, Juan Carlos Lozano, for a big gain for Mexico.
Now they'll run the option on the keeper. Vega cuts it up. Vega's a load once he gets ahead of steam as he picks up 7 on that play. 7-yard gain. Kayama, the strong safety, makes that tackle. Pro Football Hall of Fame brings us our starting lineups. Up front, at front 4. It's a 4-man front that Japan will run at you. Keep an eye on Fuji, Takahashi. You see the guys in the middle. Yunuma, and then the defensive backs, and they are not big, but they will get after you. Straight drop again, throws this one. It was almost picked off. That close. Isagawa was right there. The strong safety coming up 5'7", 165 pounds. If he had been able to hold on to that one, it may be 21-0.
Isagawa around the football a lot early in this game. Remember, he caused the fumble on the kickoff return, and this time gets his hands on it, but great concentration by Gonzalez to haul it in after the ball was nearly picked off.
I totally missed that one. He caught it, took it downfield. You talk about Sergio Gonzalez keeping his head in the game.
Love what Mexico's doing on offense, too. So many different formations being shown early, trying to spread out Japan on this play.
So first down, they run the option again. Juan Carlos Maya on the option pitch.
Maya on the carry.
Well, the slow play worked nice. Picks up 4 on the play. Yudai Mariyama there to make that step. 14-0. Japan scoring on its 3rd play of the game, and then didn't take them long after that. They lead it big, and that's good.
That play works better if the quarterback Vega really attacks the defender who's slow playing it.
Make somebody commit, right?
Exactly. By going ahead and dancing with the defender, they allowed everyone else to cover the pitch man. He needs to go ahead and force him to make a play. And then once he does that, then the pitch man's wide open.
They're checking off at the line of scrimmage. They go through for 158 yards and a couple of touchdowns against Sweden. He'll throw here on 2nd down at 6. Caught at the 5-yard line and then dropped. Could not quite hold on. But he absolutely got nailed down at the 5-yard line as Edmundo Ramos there almost made that catch, I beg your pardon.
And another guy whose name we called already today, Kohai Unama, number 49, with the big hit to force the incompletion. If he does catch this one, it comes with a headache.
Ooh, it came with a headache anyway.
So he got the headache, but not the game. I can hear wide receivers coach now.
Wait.
You're going to get hit.
Hey,
you might as well catch it.
And that's a long way to drop for a middle linebacker. He's down 25 yards from the line of scrimmage.
It's that Tampa 2.
There you go. It lost football. It's on the ground. Who's got it? And Team Mexico finally got it. It was Nagano who got the big hit inside. Nagawa, I beg your pardon. And I think Juan Carlos Maya was the man who finally fell on that football. A loss of 7.
And it's 4th down, which I think is too far for a field goal attempt for Mexico, and probably too close to go ahead and try and punt the ball away. I think they go for it here on 4th and about 12.
Call it 4th and 13. Ball set right at the 31-yard. The line to make is the 18-yard line.
The only thing you might think here is possibly pooch punt by the quarterback, but I think they're going to go ahead and try and run a play.
Vega deep in the pocket, steps up, and it's incomplete. Had his man, he would have had the first down, but could not quite hold on. Mariyama with excellent coverage for Team Japan as Diego Jair Villamontes could not quite hold on. So to go over on downs, Japan will have it with the lead next. Now Team Japan has the football, leading 14-0. They've got all the momentum as well as we go to Samantha Steele.
Guys, we've been talking about so much how these teams are learning from American players and they watch satellite television, get NFL Network, but maybe we should be learning something from them. The Japan national team plays in a country where they actually have a playoff system in college football. It's called the Koshin Bowl, and it features the East All-Stars versus, or the East best team against the West best team. And then if they win that, they play the national champion of the semi-pro league. Why can't we catch on to this, guys? What's the deal?
Way to make a statement. Sam, we have it already.
I'm not telling you what my opinion is or anything. I'm just saying.
Sam, we have it in 1AA.
Yep.
Okay, that doesn't count.
Football championship. So you haven't met any of the guys who play 1AA since you said they don't count.
I was at a 1AA school, okay? And actually, it's not even 1AA anymore. It's FCS, so get it right.
Well, they can call it FCS if they want to.
The Football Championship Series.
Subdivision, beg your pardon. Since we're going to get it right.
Yeah, you got. Hey.
I like Sam. She's jumping in with the President of the United States calling for a national championship playoff system.
This one thrown and it's complete. Endo has it. Going to be well short of a first down. It'll be a third down coming up. As Salazar was there to make that stop after a short 4-yard gain. That's a long way to throw a football to pick up 4 yards.
Now they will do that continually. And you remember early in the game, it was 4 yards on the catch, 2 missed tackles, and next thing you know, it was a touchdown 40 yards later.
Yep. 1 missed tackle is all it took. It's Endo who was down, who made that catch. Remember, Endo with a 46-yard touchdown reception to get this party started for Team Japan. Let's see if we can tell exactly what did happen to him. That's what I thought. Basically fell on the football.
Good thing is he's walking off under his own power, so hopefully we'll get him back in the game soon. Got a little hitch in his giddy up, though.
Well, I will say this, though. With the day he's been having today, that may be just the medicine to fix whatever ails him.
Just get him back on the field as far as Japan's concerned.
3rd down and 6. Ball set at the 35-yard line. They'll get just past the 41 for a first down. Now we are good to go. Veteran referee crew we have here. We'll talk much more about that coming up. Bill Lamagna, the referee. Thankfully, he has not been a busy man thus far. They throw this one. It's complete, but short of the first down. Great coverage. Salazar was the first man who got there. Edgar Moreno also on that corner. They pick up 3, but short of the first, so it'll be punt time for Team Japan.
And that has to help Mexico's confidence on defense because early in the game, they weren't able to get guys down on the initial contact in the open field. On this play, number 23, Jose Salazar. 1 guy, 1 tackle, down he goes. Japan has to punt it away.
Rocky will punt it. Gonzalez back deep. That will elude 1 tackler and gets it out to the 35-yard line. As Christian Rene Gomez on that return. Mariyama was there to make the tackle, and with 3:19 to go here in the first quarter, Japan leads at 14-0, and Team Mexico will get the football back after a 36-yard punt. Well, Rocky does a little bit of everything for this Team Japan team. As he's a quarterback, he also punts, and there you say, right into the eyes. Take a look in Roberto Asayas Vega, quarterback for Team Mexico. Has a man open downfield, caught. Jose Carlos Lozano into the end zone, a 64-yard touchdown strike, and just like that, Mexico is right back in this game.
Amazing what you can do when you have time to throw the football. Watch the protection that Vega gets on this play. You see no pressure at all, which makes it tough to cover in the secondary, and Lozano slips behind everyone. And what a strike Vega delivered downfield for the first score of the game for Mexico.
Point after is good. So 3:09 to play here in this first quarter. Well, Team Mexico, who couldn't get anything going in the right direction, does in a big way on the 64-yard touchdown strike.
Great throw, great catch.
Absolutely.
But give full credit to the big guys up front. The pass protection was excellent on that play.
Jose Carlos Lozano on the reception. Hey, college sports fans, welcome. Become a fan of Fox College Sports on Facebook and get instant access to all the latest updates, photos, and video from all of our exclusive college football coverages. Coming your way on Facebook. Just like that, Mexico cuts the lead in half. High-scoring first quarter. You know, we watched the game before this one, Sweden and Germany. Both teams had trouble scoring, and so far in this game, both defenses have had trouble keeping the other team from scoring.
Germany went home with a 14-0 victory in that game. So they leave the championship event with one victory. Good feeling.
Yoshimoto brings it up, and Junpei gets it out to the 32-yard line. 21-yard return for Junpei Yoshimoto, I beg your pardon. I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it.
I think you're doing very well thus far. Now that Mexico seems to be getting a little more settled on the defensive side of the football, imperative for Japan now to make sure all the momentum doesn't shift to Mexico's side. They need to put together some first downs, try and move the ball a little bit.
Rocky back in at quarterback. He'll take the snap from the shotgun. Kitagawa's the single setback. He comes out into the pattern instead. Yoshimoto makes the catch. Beg your pardon? That is Hayashi. As Yuta Hayashi, his second catch of the game. It's just a 5-yard gain, but to bring up second down and 5. Again, the spread offense clicking right now for Team Japan. And like you said, they were shut down on the last drive. Imperative they get something going and keep the momentum on their side as Edgar Moreno made the stop. Counting down to 2.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Bronze medal game. The IFAF 2009 Junior World Championships. That's complete. Hit immediately and brought down short of the first down. That's great coverage. Jose Salazar. And even better tackle for Salazar as he brought him down immediately. A 5-yard gain.
Did a nice job out on the corner because what happened was he didn't vacate his spot. He didn't go with the receiver that pushed him deep. He turned him loose for the safety and stayed in the short zone. So when the ball was thrown and the catch was made, he was right on the spot with an excellent driving tackle.
And unlike
when
when
it appears that he's a little short, I thought he was a little bit short on the play. We'll have to see if he got a good spot.
Unlike when Endo made the catch earlier, basically in that same situation, they missed the tackle and he ran 46 yards for a touchdown. You see short of the first down by that much.
And because it's third and short and that short, that doesn't necessarily mean a running down for Japan. I mean, they are not a grinded out, blow you off the line of scrimmage type of a team running the football. They like to hit you with misdirection and find the creases. So if you don't run quarterback sneak here, never be surprised about Japan putting the ball in the air.
Well, between their two running backs, Kitagawa goes, and he's listed at 5'5", 165. Shu Inoue is listed at 5'7", 145. You saw the numbers on Iraqi. This is a third down, and what do you say, about less than 6 inches to go for the first down.
If Mexico stacks the box here and tries to go 7 or 8 in the box, would not surprise me one bit to see Japan throw the football.
I'm going quarterback sneak. And so is Iraqi.
Gotta get lower.
Boy,
I think he got it.
He got it on
yeah.
second effort. Patino was there, the first man kind of pushing that pile in the green jersey. That is a first down.
Gotta get a little bit lower as a quarterback. See, because you don't want to get popped up initially. Then you lose all your momentum and all your force trying to get the first down. He was fortunate that on the second and third effort, able to drive forward and get the first down. Get lower, hide behind the bigger guy, and burrow your way towards a first down.
Yeah, you saw big David Abraham Viasas on the other side, almost able to push him back. That was a read play up the middle, goes for a couple of yards, not a whole lot there. Shun Kitagawa there on the carry. And Carrillo, first time we've called his name today, was a gain of just a couple. There's Giovanni Carrillo. Talked about him right off the bat to start this show. 6'1", 205 pounds, that middle linebacker, and really the anchor to this Mexico defense. Under a minute to play, first quarter. Straight drop, Iraqi throws. Once again, after the opening play in which they were able to break it and go long, they put Salazar out in that corner, and they may want to find a different place to throw the football.
He's doing a nice job reading the plays, reading the patterns, and an even better job of tackling an open field now.
Now what I'm curious about, and something maybe to keep an eye on, is you've seen short pass, short pass, short pass.
Eventually you're going to get the counter to it. You're going to get the combination on it. Fake it short, try and hit them long, either on the backside, coming from opposite field, or right there with an out and up.
Or yeah, with that corner stepping up every time, and then all of a sudden you take a step around him and
go.
We'll see the celebration in the end zone going up top here, and that's exactly what they do. Complete. Yoshimoto takes it in for the touchdown. A 53-yard touchdown strike, and Japan is on the board again.
That's a beautiful throw because he's throwing from the opposite hash, just a short little, not even a half roll, kind of a quarter roll, and they hit him up top with just a streak pattern, and he gets behind the defense, and the ball's perfectly thrown.
Endo for the point after, and he's good. So Japan on a 46-yard touchdown strike, then a 53-yard touchdown strike. And Jumpy Yoshimoto has had a busy day today. Second touchdown reception of the day. Shoma Endo is the man who had the 46-yard touchdown catch.
Both of these quarterbacks have shown us a nice ability to throw the long ball.
Absolutely. Good touch and a strong arm. That's a nice combination. You want to follow what we're up to? Follow FCS on Twitter and get the latest updates on all FCS programming. Twitter.com, Fox College Sports. Juan Carlos Maya back deep for Mexico.
His father is the offensive coordinator for this team, for Team Mexico. If he doesn't touch it enough, he'll hear about it at home from mom,
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I thought, you know what, if he doesn't like the way the play calling is going, all he's got to do is come to dinner that night and they can discuss it at the table.
You just tell mom. Things will change in a hurry.
That's right.
Arroyo on the return.
Arroyo brings it up for Team Mexico out near the 35-yard line. 20-yard return. As Ito was there to make that stop for Japan. 5 seconds left. One more play here in this first quarter.
First and 10, Team Mexico.
Team Mexico with first down and 10. Ernesto Alfaro de Villar is the coach of this Mexican team. You saw him just a moment ago. Well, the hole closed in a hurry, and there's not a whole lot of running room for Juan Carlos Maya. Shota Ino is there to make that stop. So that will do it in what has been a first quarter dominated by the offenses. Big turnover by Mexico, and it is a 21-7 lead. Second quarter's next. Welcome you back. It's Team Japan. A lot to be proud of so far here in this first quarter. 21-7 lead. Samantha Steele down on the sideline. Kevin Eschenfelder, Charles Davis with you here in the booth as we come to you from Fawcett Stadium in Canton, Ohio. IFAF 2009 Junior World Championship. Team Mexico in the green, and that in the white, Team Japan. A collection from 8 different countries, 4 different continents, all coming here to Canton, Ohio to play American football on this, the 4th of July. First play of the second quarter. Caught, 45 down to the 40-yard line, and a big gainer as Christian Rene Gomez makes the catch and knew what to do with it once he got it. A 23-yard gain. Mariama finally made the stop.
Terrific catch. Nice job by Vega being nimble in the pocket and then putting it right over the defender, and well caught by Gomez.
Absolutely.
And he even absorbed a big hit in the pocket and delivered a strike.
Mexico on the move early here in the second quarter. Juan Carlos Maya trying to get the corner.
on the carry.
Got the corner, got down to the 35-yard line, picks up 6 on the play, stepped out of bounds short of that, I beg your pardon. So Nakamura was there to push him out of bounds. Time now for our first quarter stats, brought to you by Riddell, the official football protective equipment partner of USA Football. And you know, really even the big difference, I think, as far as this first quarter was the turnover.
Yeah, the turnover led to the second touchdown for Japan. I mean, look at the time of possession, really not a big deal right now. And then the explosive plays, or the splash plays as people call them, Japan, 4-2 over Mexico of plays of 10 yards or more.
They've had a 46-yard touchdown play to start this game, just 42 seconds deep. And then a 53-yard touchdown run, their touchdown pass to make it 21-7. And that is where we stand. In between that was a big fumble on a kickoff return. Let's go to Samantha Steele.
Guys, I've been learning a lot about these different cultures in the last couple of days, but seeing the differences between these two sidelines is just incredible. I was on the Mexican side at first, and they're very loud, doing pretty much similar to what the United States players do. Come over to Japan, it's silent. No one's patting anybody on the butt. There is no talking. Actually, right now, they're turning around because they can hear me talking, so maybe I should use my golf voice. What do you think?
When we line up that putt on 18 for the
right.
big win, you'll be set there. But that's a great observation, Samantha. Different cultures do it different ways, and right now, sign me up for quiet if I'm up 21-7.
Yeah, exactly. They are down 21-7. You know, what's interesting is I've always heard that Japanese baseball is almost like a party, at least in the stands.
In the stands.
Right now, it's Japan doing all the partying, leading 21-7 as Mexico takes a timeout on a 3rd down and 5, and you're down by 14 points. Obviously, you're more than likely in 4-down territory right here, but still, you may as well make sure you dot the I's and cross the T's on what you're doing on this 3rd down play. Hey, college sports fans don't have FCS, call 877-2-GET-FCS or visit foxcollegesports.com and get over 72 hours of daily college sports programming delivered right to your living room. Fox College Sports, where college never ends. Oh, if life was so simple. 10:28 to go. It is an absolutely gorgeous evening for football. Temperatures, even for northeastern Ohio, it's been cool by their standards.
It's great football weather for
Absolutely.
these young guys.
I was expecting temperatures maybe in the 90s. It has literally been in the low 70s all week here as far as these games are concerned. Unseasonably cool, and we will take it. Well, they tried that one up with the shuttle pass. You know, that was probably the 3rd option was that shuttle pass because it looked like everything else was covered. And when in doubt, you throw that one. If he drops it, no damage done. But it is 4th down and 5 as Juan Carlos Maya. I'm not sure if he would have been able to do anything with it had he been able to hold on.
Here's another example of how the game continues to progress. If you came to this game wondering about whether teams would be sophisticated or not, great observation there, Kevin. It was the 3rd option. Quarterback looking out wide, didn't have it deep, didn't have it short, shovels it underneath. It was an incomplete pass, but to have 3 options off of that play, None of these offenses have simplistic playbooks.
Did you see, though, the headgear turn towards the defense while the ball was in the air? That is the definition of taking your eye off the ball.
That translates across every culture, doesn't it?
Yes.
To get hit, you know he's coming.
It is American football, 21-7. Back in a moment. 21-7, Japan leads it. They have a big fourth down coming up here for Team Mexico. Here you see the Japanese head coach Takeo Yamazaki looking for his defense to stiffen here. Fourth down, call it 5.
It's like Japan's trying to show a man across look and possibly dropping back into zone. See if they want to bring pressure here to try and make Vega get rid of the football a little bit quicker.
They've got to get the football inside the 31-yard line. You see the orange pylon up at the top of your screen. Throwing this one over the middle, caught, first down and more, down to the 20-yard line, but a late flag comes in, and this may be in the vicinity of a late hit or a hold, as Nakamura was there to make that tackle, but it's a 16-yard gain. There's your late hit, and it's against Mexico. Wow.
Negates a first down. Japan did blitz and go to man coverage, and Vega absorbs a little bit of a hit, but delivers a beautiful pass.
That wipes out a fourth down conversion, and that's almost a turnover, that penalty right there.
They had a first down, and they were in business driving the football because that was a penalty on Eric Zamora, offensive guard, wiped out everything. Now they've got to punt the ball away, and Japan dodges one. They should have been getting themselves set up to play defense within the shadow of their goal line.
Absolutely. Yoshimoto goes back deep. Artigas will punt it away. Low snap, and he'll run with it. And it's going to be great field position for Japan as he got it just inside.
I'm not sure that was a designed fake. I think he panicked on a bad snap when he still had an opportunity to punt the football.
Nagao made the tackle. So it'll be Japanese football there at the 47-yard line. It was Antonio Aceves. I agree. I think he saw the bad snap.
I think as soon as the ball bounced, he thought that he had no chance of getting the punt away and decided to try and run for it. He would have had to run a long way to get that first down. See him scoop it? Now he's in trouble. No one out there to help him.
Good field position for Japan. On the keeper right up the middle. Mark it off at a gain of 8 yards is Shun Kitagawa. And a young man who led Japan in rushing at the 09 Global Challenge Bowl. He can catch it as well. He had 4 catches in the game against Canada. That time runs it ahead for a gain of 8 yards. So a second down and 2. Francisco Gomez Junta, who made that tackle, stepping up in that strong safety spot.
Playbook now wide open for Japan on 2nd and 2. We see the benefits of passing to open up the run game for Japan.
It went right to the fullback.
They've done this over the last 2 games, Kevin, and that's a play that I think that they might just want to take out of their playbook. They don't get much out of it.
Kazburo Isagawa there on the run, and Jose Miguel Garcia made that tackle. There wasn't a whole lot there.
Not able to get anything done up front. A great job by Mexico being able to hold the point of attack, and then they run down the ball carrier.
Kazburo Isagawa is listed as a backup free safety. Getting a little run there at fullback, and he may have lost a yard. So now you got 3rd down and 2. And here comes the trickery on the reverse. In a way, brought down. Huge play by Hector Ricardo Yanez. And that is a 4th down and 8 coming up after he loses 6.
This play was well scouted. You see, it's tough in the short amount of time between games. Remember, these teams are playing 3 games in 8 days, so you don't have a great amount of time to get game plans in, but it's obvious the Mexican defensive staff has done a nice job scouting Japan when they were alert for the reverse.
Sergio Gonzalez goes back deep. Awaiting the punt from Iraqi. Hit that one off the side of his foot. It'll bound out of bounds at the 24-yard line. So Mexico dodging a bullet, if you will. Just a 26-yard punt. Remember, Japan had a second down and 1, and it ends up a couple of big plays for the defense. Mexico has it when we come back. Team Japan leading at 21-7. Good series there for Mexico's defense. Now, I know what you're wondering here at the World Championships. What about Team USA? Don't have to wonder long, because they will come your way tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time, as Team USA, the number 2 seed, will be taking on the number 1 seed Canadian team. Well, this one is complete once again. Sergio Gonzalez, and Gonzalez takes it up a nice gain, and now Mexico's got something going. Nakamura was there to push him out of bounds after a gain of 12 and a Mexico first down.
For both of these teams, the receiving core, no size,
right,
but tremendous hands and very nifty after they catch the football. Great job by Gonzalez catching the football and then able to escape to the outside and gain additional yardage.
Watch the love tap right there.
Got a little straight arm there, huh? You're trying to show the Heisman pose?
That's right.
Well done.
His team is down by 14 points, though, here in the second quarter. 7:18 to play. Well, they go right up the middle. And there's just not a whole lot there. Juan Carlos Maya, I know you have to keep going back to that. You could make the argument that he is the best offensive player for this Mexican team. Nagao have made that stop. You see the numbers is Vega completing 66% of his passes, 6 out of 9.
I think what Mexico is hoping is to try and do the same thing Japan has been doing to their defense. Widen things out, spread the field, and create more natural running lanes and creases for the little guy Maya carrying the football.
2nd and 10, no gain on that last play. Clock counting down to 6.5. He's hit as he throws. And luckily for Team Mexico, that one fell to the turf, some 25 yards downfield. Shota Ino was there to make that hit. Man, there was a lot of pressure there on Roberto Aceves Vega.
Look to the left side of your screen. Great play on the backside there. Nagao. Atsushi Nagao, number 92, with the big hit.
What from that defensive end spot, 5'11", 205 pounds. So on the incomplete pass, clock stops, but now we've got a 3rd down and 10. Mexico looking to go where they have not gone today, and that is to convert on 3rd down. 0 for 2 so far. Plenty of time to throw. Does throw downfield, and it is incomplete, but that'll be pass interference. Shota Ino was there on the coverage. Got there, really, they underthrew it to Juan Carlos Maya, and that was probably the best thing that could have happened, because when he came back, that's where the contact was made.
Pass interference, defense, number 43, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Bill Lamagna is our referee today. What an honor to have that gentleman, and I do mean gentleman, working this game.
One of the absolute best in the country. Probably the lead official in the Big Ten. He's worked numerous big-time bowl games, works a lot internationally, growing the officials and getting them better across the world. And exactly as you talked about, Kevin, being able to come back to the football allowed for the pass interference to take place. Because if he is just running a regular route, it's probably an incompletion if it's well covered otherwise.
Now, we've got a story of today's umpire. We'll tell you about that coming up. We'll give it enough time to tell that story, because it is truly a great story on this 4th of July. Sergio Gonzalez there to make that catch. Nakamura was there to hold him up after a 6-yard gain. And, both of these teams basically, I know it sounds so cliche, but taking what the defense gives them.
And it's the right thing to do in this situation. The only time you can't allow that to happen is when it's 3rd and 6 and you run a 5-yard pattern. That doesn't do you any good. You've got to get the first down in that situation. But on first down, 6 yards is an excellent pickup.
And this one is complete. They had a lot of receivers there at the top of the field, and that one, you just ran one out there, and whoever turned around and was the open man first got the football. Nakamura was there to make the tackle on Edmundo Ramos, who makes the 8-yard reception. It's enough for another first down.
Have you noticed what Japan tries to do after they secure contact? Watch them dig at the football here at the end of the play. You know, they're always trying to reach and slap and grab and trying to knock it out. They're not a big defensive unit, so creating turnovers is huge for them because otherwise teams tend to march the football down on them.
And the flip side of that is they have been very good at limiting those turnovers and mistakes like that. Finally, it's a little running room from Juan Carlos Maya.
Got him to the right portion of the field for his size. He got to the flank and was able to turn the corner and picks up 7 yards. Another excellent gain on first down, which allows Mexico to open up their playbook on 2nd and short.
Call it 2nd down and 3.
Japan changing coverages, changing with their pressures. 3-man front, 4-man front. Rush 3, rush 4, rush 5. Having a tough time slowing down Mexico on this drive.
Very solid drive. That one is thrown and incomplete. Should have been caught there, and it would have been enough for a first down, but Christian Rene Gomez could not hold on.
Almost wonder if his concentration was disrupted by the defender from Japan, number 43, crossing in front of him. See that?
Yeah, it did.
Right in front of him, and I think that knocked away his concentration.
That was Ino, who had gotten called for the pass interference just a moment ago.
Japan again showing man coverage in the secondary.
Comes the blitz, throws it, it's complete. At the 20, talk about catching a football with your hands. Jose Carlos Lozano. As Mariama pushed him out of bounds, but boy, caught the back half of the football and had his hands out, a gain of 8. And once again, this methodical drive, they'll move the chains.
And when Japan goes to man coverage, it's not a pressure man package. They're playing man, but they're still trying to prevent people from getting behind them. So anything you want in front, you can get. And a nice pickup there, Kevin. You notice the hands catch by the receiver. Terrific job there by Lozano.
10th play of the drive will be a first down and 10 from the 18-yard line. Roll the pocket. Here comes the pressure. Throws back over the middle. It's caught at the 5-yard line. Carlos Lozano made the catch. Isagawa was there. What a dangerous pass, but a good one. A 13-yard gain and 1st and goal for Team Mexico.
Vega's a big guy with nice mobility, and notice how he kept his eyes downfield, constantly scanning for targets, and Lozano runs the pattern with his quarterback. Finds an open spot and then makes a nice catch because he absorbed a huge hit from the inside.
4th catch, and look how busy Jose Carlos Lozano has been. 4 catches, 114 yards, and the touchdown. Shuttle pass.
Shovel pass.
Maya down to the 1-yard line.
Stop just inside the 2-yard line.
And that, Anuma made the tackle. That pays to be the son of the offensive coordinator. Get it to him on the goal line.
Love these offenses. It was a two-way go there, really. Could have taken it outside and run option. He had a trail back there in Gomez, number 20. Instead, shovels it inside to Maya, who runs it down closer to the goal line. These offenses show you a little bit of everything. And notice, not getting under the center, even inside the 5-yard line. Still running out of the shotgun.
Going to keep this one up inside, takes it in for the touchdown. When you're 6'4", 225 pounds, why not? Carlos Isaias Vega in for the touchdown, and we're a point after away from having a 7-point football game.
Kevin, if that's American college football, who's that remind you of running that play in the goal line from the quarterback position?
Does he wear a little blue and orange? Tim Tebow.
I mean, that's the type of play where he's the best short yardage runner in a stacked situation for his team. I would say that Roberto Vega would be the same for Mexico.
David Antonio Aceves for the point after. Shanked that one. No good on the point after. 21-13. His team Mexico misses the extra point, but this Mexican team is right back in it with Japan, who had led big early on, 21-7. Now 2:49 to go here in this second quarter. Team Mexico with a bit of a life. A reminder again, tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern time, Team USA will take on Team Canada in the gold medal game. This the bronze medal game. Japan leading by 8 of the International Federation of American Football, the 2009 Junior World Championships here in Canton, Ohio. Both teams with plenty to have thumbs up about so far in this one.
Good thing for Mexico is that they got overwhelmed by the United States in their game. That game got out of hand in a hurry. Opening kickoff went to midfield. One play later, the United States has their first touchdown of the game. It was 27-0, I believe, after about 5 or 6 snaps. In this game, it threatened to start the same way.
Yep.
Japan takes it right downfield and scores. Kickoff fumbled by Mexico. Japan scores again, but Mexico has held its poise and gotten themselves right back into the game.
Oshawa on the return.
Shawa brings it up. He may go. One man to beat, didn't do it. Got to the 40-yard line. A nice return, but Aceves was the one man back to save the touchdown, and Aceves did just that, but not before a 44-yard return and great field position for Japan.
Well done. Look how they set up the wall for him on the kick return. Many guys out in front, but Japan executing their return came what they call return left, set up the wall, and he was able to get behind it and then was able to turn up into the gap and gain excellent yardage.
And you see the patience, too, whenever he waited for the blocks to come and was able and quick enough to scoot through them when they did finally arrive. Throws this one on first down. Junpei has it, and he's down to the 30-yard line. Junpei Yoshimoto had a big day today. Had 65 yards and a 65-yard touchdown against the U.S. team. That's a gain of 8. That was in the 09 Global Challenge. 8 catches against Canada leading up to this game. Had 137 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
And no lack of courage, because you're taught as a receiver there to just get upfield. You don't want to run parallel across the defense very much, because that's where they're coming from the opposite side. They want you to catch that curl, get up into the alley.
Going for the strike. And just out of bounds is Jumpy Yoshimoto. Penalty marker is down, and it's down back at the quarterback, Araki. So you may be looking either a hold or a late hit. And then you got the late hit. Oh, Bill Lamagna, you tell him, buddy. He looked like he had a scowl on his face.
He's one of the best in the business, and he's going to make every call decisive. And that's a tough one against Mexico.
Yeah, Cannonball was the man who was flagged for that penalty. They've had a couple of really big penalties in this game. They had a 15-yarder after they had converted on 4th down earlier, which would have set them up basically in the red zone. Had to bring it all the way back out and punt the football away. Bad snap. Next thing you know, Japan's got the ball at midfield. And then this one, another big 15-yard penalty. After an incompletion.
He's one-on-one outside.
Instead, they'll throw it back. Hit immediately. That had disaster written all over it for Japan as they threw it back to Koyama. And Sergio Artigas was right there. And Koyama's really lucky he's getting up smiling.
The level of coaching for both sides is tremendous, because this was the play that Japan ran on the goal line to score their first touchdown against Canada. Little throwback against Flo. Well scouted, great job in the secondary there by Artigas, holding his position and not going away with Flo.
It's hard to do. Get caught up in it, and next thing you know, there's a guy runs right by you. Now you got markers down. That'll be a delay penalty.
They're trying to get a fade to Yoshimoto.
Beg your pardon?
Ball start, 21 offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, Yoshimoto went just a little bit early.
He knew he was getting the football. Wanted to get in motion quickly.
Wanted to hurry up and get there. There you see Junpei Yoshimoto, 5'6", 140 pounds. This is not a big Japanese team.
1-14.
They'll reset the clock. It's a team known for precision, very well coached, as you said. They don't make a whole lot of mistakes. Both of these teams only with 2 penalties.
Well played first half. Not sloppy at all in terms of a lot of penalties and holds and false starts. Something you might expect when a medal's on the line. Guys come out really hyped up. That hasn't happened in this game. Credit to both squads.
Has time, looking for the corner, going to the end zone, and it's incomplete. That was a nice job of the receivers looking back at the quarterback, coming back to help, but he just overthrew Osawa. Kenta Osawa was right there in the back of the end zone.
I do love Araki's pocket presence, though. Notice how he keeps the play extended. The life continues on the play, and then gets his eyes downfield and has a receiver and just overshoots him in the end zone. Just as you pointed out, Kevin, the receivers realized it was a scramble drill, broke their routes accordingly, and put themselves in the proper sight lines for the quarterback to find.
Perez had the coverage, but that was a touchdown to be had right there. One that Araki would love to have back. Now he'll throw this one, has a man open, and it's knocked away at the last second. It was excellent coverage downfield for Mexico as Yunta almost looked like he was beaten. Really timed it at the right moment, came in, was able to swipe it away, but there's a penalty marker down on the field.
Just got enough of a hand in there to knock the ball free.
Let's check the marker. Now this could be interesting because
Holding defense number 3.
Artigas called for the penalty, so they'll go half the distance. But I was talking with the officials before, Bill Lamagna, and just how do you explain options, which you don't understand? Some people don't understand is when there's a penalty, the first thing you do is the referee will go to the captain, usually the quarterback, and he will explain the options, whether it's not you want to take the penalty or not. And I said, with the Japanese team, maybe there will be a language barrier. He said, basically, I'm going to probably enforce the penalty as the way I think that they want it to be
the way that they
done.
want to get it done.
Whatever is best for the team. Araki, there's the penalty marker down, thrown out of bounds, and you're going to get a hold now on Japan. So after we bragged on these two teams about just how well it had been played, there's 3 penalties in 4 plays. It's all your fault.
75 offense, 10 yards, previous spot. Still first down.
Well, they still got first down.
Taichi Kitano, the center, called for the hold, and I will take the hit for that.
Okay, you got it.
I deserve
I'll
it.
take the next one.
Because I opened it up, talking about how well played it was. They weren't sloppy, and now things get a little tight here. But here, Araki, again, extending the life of the play, and the hold happens behind it. You can see it behind the play in the center of the field. Kitano getting a little bit too much clock, and then a really good throw by Araki. And what I mean by that is he realized he had nothing there, so he threw it into the stands.
Good point.
Because an interception would have negated the penalty and given the ball over to Mexico.
Last time I checked, Dwight Clark wasn't on the Japanese roster, so he was safe. That's going to be a penalty marker. You're going to have another holding penalty.
I would think it's an incomplete pass along with it.
Yeah. See, as we had the pressure, they're going to call grounding. Beg your pardon.
Calling grounding.
So, spot foul, second down.
What Bill Lamagna has determined is that Araki was not outside what we call the tackle box. Tackle to tackle. And if you're not outside the tackle box, you've got no one to throw the ball to.
And you know what
it's
else?
Grounding. If he's outside of the tackle box, as long as the ball crosses the line of scrimmage, you can ground it anywhere. Didn't do it that time. Playing under college rules here.
So it's a 13-yard loss on the penalty.
Is this second and goal from 32?
Second and goal. Yes, it is. Well, they would have been able to get a big chunk of it right there, but Shoma Endo could not hold on. We hit him right in the hands. Moreno had the coverage, but Moreno was clearly behind him, and now we've got a player down back at the 40-yard line.
Looked like Moreno was able to get a hand in, even though he was behind on the coverage.
Is that Galvan, 97? Desev Galvan, tending to that right leg. So they will attend to him. We will take a break. 44 seconds remaining here in the first half. Japan leads 21-13. 21-13, 44 seconds remaining as Japan with the football leads it. College sports fans don't have FCS, call 877 to get FCS or visit foxcollegesports.com. Over 72 hours of daily college sports programming delivered right to your living room. Fox College Sports, where college never ends. This is 3rd down and goal to go from the 31-yard line. Throwing this one, and it's incomplete. Japan on this drive has had a bad case of the drops. Endo couldn't hold on to it. And remember, Shoma Endo already has a touchdown reception in this game. Same for Yoshimoto.
That play was also one of the few balls that Iraqi has thrown today that wasn't that great. And what I mean by that is, on that play, you need to be able to hit your receiver so he can continue to run with the football on 3rd and 31. Try and give him a chance. On that play, Endo would have had to make a great catch to pick up a few yards. He actually brought him to the ground with the throw. One of the few bad ones you'll see from Iraqi.
4th down, goal to go. Japan will take time out as Takeo Yamazaki will talk it over with his offense. Ernesto Alfaro de Villar. And Del Villar, the head coach of the Mexican team. Now, all of these coaches, with the exception of Yamazaki speaks limited English. Everyone else pretty fluent in the English language. So obviously there is a bit of a language barrier with Team Japan. And talked about how they've come here and you haven't gotten to really know the Japanese players quite as well. And the language barrier is obviously part of that. But you look at these and you walk through down Walsh University just north of Canton, where these teams are all staying, and what a great community atmosphere it is. You will see guys from Team USA playing. Today we saw from Sweden, they were playing ping pong and things like that. Team USA and Team Canada. Maybe not so much camaraderie between those two because they got a lot at stake as they will play in the gold medal game of the IFAF Junior World Championships. These are 19 and under football players. A lot of the players from Team USA you'll see playing in big-time college football next year. And if there was ever a chance for grounding, you may have been able to see it right there. Instead,
he did have.
Yeah, see, you're right. I beg your pardon.
Kitagawa,
it was Kitagawa,
number 5 in the middle.
He kind of got caught up in the mix.
Hard to find him amongst all the big fellas, but he was right in the middle, and that's why the flag was not thrown. Nice pass rush by Mexico, though. Great pressure on the quarterback. Tried to dump it, try and get something out of it. But what a great job by Mexico on defense. Japan had a terrific drive going, unable to finish it off. That's about the 2nd or 3rd time in the first half that Mexico's defense has stopped Japan when it appeared that they had a chance to score.
Well, Japan has put itself offensively in some good positions, and it almost seems like they can't stand the prosperity because just as soon as a good situation happens, a 2nd down and 1, something like that, they get a negative play that takes them right back out of the position they worked hard to get to. That ball's loose on the ground, and Japan is going to have another chance with 26 seconds remaining. They get the football back. What a break. Nagao was able to fall on it. Ino was right there as well as Shota Ino. Shota Ino was there. It was ripped away. Look at Nagao going in there, knocking it away. Shui Nagao, number 92, rips it away. That is a huge mistake from Juan Carlos Maya. And I don't know how much of a mistake it is from him. I don't know how much more you could have secured the football. Sometimes they just knock it away.
They make a nice play, and it was an inside screen, so you're running back into all the beef. And Nagao knocks it free. 2 turnovers today, both by Mexico. And Japan does not mind trying to strike big after a turnover.
Straight drop to throw for Iraqi. Does throw, and it's incomplete. Almost intercepted. Good coverage downfield as Angel Curry had the coverage.
Good coverage. Another poor throw by Iraqi. One of the few, again, that he's not getting enough on. See how short he throws it? He's got to throw that over the top of the underneath defender and in front of the back defender. Unable to drop it in that time.
I'm a firm believer that quarterbacks can be a lot like a good shooter in basketball sometimes. Sometimes you can't miss, you get hot, and sometimes you can't throw it in the ocean. Right now, Araki's having trouble finding his receivers. Does throw this one. Caught. 10-5. Touchdown, Japan. With 14 seconds remaining, a 35-yard touchdown strike. How about that? Japan needed a big play, and they got it. Shigematsu made the catch and takes it in for 6.
How about the young man in the pocket coming back after a poor throw? The very next throw? Could it be any better? I don't think so.
I don't think so
exactly
either.
where it's supposed to be. Catches
stride.
it on the run and carries it into the end zone. So the turnover costly for Mexico as Japan scores a touchdown, adds the extra point right before the end of the half.
Endo with 14 seconds remaining. And remember, it was the mistake, the turnover, and Japan has been able to take advantage of a couple of mistakes so far in this game. You think about their 3 touchdowns, one off a missed tackle to start the game, the second one coming directly off a turnover on the ensuing kickoff. They had a big play as well, a 56-yard touchdown pass earlier, so there have been some big plays for Team Japan, and certainly Team Mexico has not helped themselves out very much as well. Ernesto Alfaro de Villar, they will have something to talk about as Coach Del Villar at halftime. Going to have to make some adjustments.
So when you go into the half, all you're telling your team is, I know we can't take the points off the board, but gentlemen, the 2 turnovers which led to their 14 points, we don't turn the ball over. It's a 1-point game right now.
And that on a missed extra point. So
I mean, what Mexico's going to emphasize to their team at halftime is we are helping them too much. They're a good football team. Let's not give them any more help than what they need.
Juan Carlos Arroyo is back deep. Juan Carlos Maya, I beg your pardon, is back deep. And they will kick it to them.
Kicks off for Team Japan.
Arroyo takes this one.
Arroyo on the return.
And Arroyo, midfield and more. And that is exactly why, with less than a half minute left, you rarely see a team kick the ball deep. You wonder why they kick the squib kick. If you ever wonder why, that is why.
And I go back and forth with coaches about the squib kick because at times, depending on what you need to give up, if it's only a field goal that'll beat you, I'm never in favor of squib kicking. You're giving up way too much ground.
I agree.
In this situation, they kicked it deep. Maybe a squib kick was more in order because you're up a couple of scores and you're trying to prevent the big return. Instead, Mexico has a chance, and now Vega has plenty of arm, and he'll throw it up deep and see if they can get something at the buzzer.
He'll have one shot, 4 seconds left after the 43-yard return. Instead, he'll hold on to it and run with the football. And he's not going to go down until time expires. So a solid first half of football, particularly for both of these offenses. Team Japan got out to the early lead, 14-0, led 21-7. Mexico closed to within 8 at 21-13, but Japan adding the late touchdown with 14 seconds remaining as Japan, living by the big play so far in this game. And they lead 28-13 as we go down onto the field to Samantha Steele.
Coach, right now it seems like you're sort of beating yourselves. Do you feel like those penalties and mistakes are killing your momentum?
Yeah, we have been making a lot of mistakes. The whole thing now is our problem. I mean, we were beating ourselves, as you mentioned. I mean, we have to talk with the kids. We have to work in some stuff, and we'll be back.
Coach, do you feel like your DBs are missing their assignments? They're not sticking with it. They're just looking at the quarterback.
They need to improve their assignments. I mean, they are missing their assignments, and we need to do some adjustments.
All right, thanks, Coach. Best of luck. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Sam. And, yeah, they've got some adjustments to make, does Mexico here at halftime. Halftime, it's 28-13, Japan on top. Back to Canton, Ohio in a moment. Welcome back to Fawcett Stadium here in Canton, Ohio, as Japan leads 28-13. Hall of Fame game coming up here in a couple of weeks. What do we have this year? Titans and the Buffalo Bills? And
yeah,
I think
because
we
have an original AFL game because the Titans originally were the Houston Oilers.
Absolutely. And now are they going to? I'm curious. I think they might wear Oilers.
They're going to go back with the throwbacks for their original franchise.
Well, they'll bring this one up. Team Mexico down, stepped out of bounds, and a penalty marker is down. You're going to get a block in the back or a block below the waist. on the run back as Edgar Arroyo had the run back. And this penalty is going to cost Mexico a few yards. 10 from the spot. Just underway here in the second half.
And that Oilers team won the first championship of the American Football League. They beat the
Los Angeles Chargers.
Very good. Not San Diego, but Los Angeles. You're on your game. Owned by Baron Hilton.
Very nice.
Holding on the return. That penalty is declined. Illegal block in the back. Number 99 on the return. 10-yard penalty, spot or foul. First down.
Take a look at the first half numbers, courtesy of Walsh University, celebrating 50 years of Catholic University of distinction. And you take a look at these numbers, and, you know, incredibly similar. 7 yards of difference in this game, but the turnovers, that's the whole number, and the reason this is a 15-point difference.
Turnovers and points off turnovers, 14 for Japan off of the 2 turnovers, gives them the margin that they have.
You would be hard-pressed to find a half of football with numbers that close. 7 yards difference in the total offense. Here we go on first down. Up the middle they go, and again, there's not a whole lot of running room there, but that was the first carry of the day for David Alexis Paz, 5'7", 175 pounds. Nagao had the stop, and after a gain of just a yard, take a look at Rocky and Vega and the way their numbers compared. Again, very similar. 186 yards for Araki, 175 for Vega. The big difference is Araki has thrown 4 touchdown passes.
Both of them very accurate when they have time to throw the football. I've been impressed with both of them, probably a little bit more with Araki.
Second down and 9. Steps up in the pocket this time, pressured but throws, and it's incomplete. And one thing that I've noticed, too, about Japan, you notice they have given Araki, it's not so much a matter of protecting him better. Seems like they've rolled the pocket away from the defense, if for no other reason, just to give him a little more time. Let him throw on the road.
And he's very good in the pocket, very calm, very poised, and he's not one of those great runners that's going to flush the pocket and get downfield and pick up 15 or 20 yards and really hurt a defense that way. He'll keep a play alive, and he's very nifty, very nimble, just a couple slide steps to either side to create a better throwing lane for himself.
We've also seen their receivers really help him out when he's extending a play like that as well. This time they roll it, and not going to go anywhere. And it'll be 4th down and 3 and out to start this second half, and we've got an injured player down for Mexico.
Could not be a better start to a half on defense for Japan.
They will attend to the injured player, and that's Eric Alejandro Zamora, who is down.
You would have to think the emotion in the locker room was much more prevalent with Team Mexico. We heard the coach go off the sidelines with Samantha, and so far Japan comes out playing a little bit better.
Player still down 28-13. Japan leading this one right now. And Eric Alejandro Zamora still down. And I don't think there's any doubt if you take a look at this again at the end of this play. He hyperextended the knee. And
number 66 in the middle, right?
Right.
Correct?
There
he is, number 66.
Right knee. Went down in a hurry.
We hope he's going to be okay. Kevin, I want to go back to something in the first half. Samantha Steele gave us an excellent report on the differences of the benches.
Yep.
And the emotion that Mexico was showing on their side. And really, for Japan, the absence of emotion, but the cold efficiency of what Japan was giving them. And going off, favoring his leg, and we certainly hope he'll be okay and either back in the game soon or not hurt for very long.
I guess his ankle, the way he's moving his knee.
Yeah, the way he's moving it. Yeah. But I go back to that, and at that time when she gave us the report, it was 21-7 Japan. Mexico still trying to generate some more positive plays. She talked to the head coach of Mexico going off the field at the half, and he talked about how we're hurting ourselves and we need to come out and clean up a few things. Well, the first 3 plays of the second half, including kickoff, have been all Japan.
Absolutely.
Every bit of it. So many different ways to be efficient in a football game. You don't have to jump up and down and show tremendous emotion if you're playing as well as Japan is.
Savas will punt it away after a 3 and out. They come after it. And here comes Junpei.
Yoshimoto on the return.
Yoshimoto is down at the 48-yard line. Good coverage there by Team Mexico. And here comes a penalty marker in. And boy, may have torn a rotator cuff from as far as that back judge threw that flag. Daniel Espinoza on the tackle and has checked the marker.
I wonder if they saw a face mask in there.
He threw it with conviction. There's no doubt about that. You got it. Third 15-yard penalty of this game called on Mexico. Let's go down to Samantha Steele.
Guys, there's been a huge mystery throughout this game. I keep getting messages with people asking me what these Mexican coaches are wearing around their necks. I couldn't figure it out. I got kind of close right now. I'm going to tell you, this is hilarious. I found out that their hosts that have been helping them around the city of Canton are huge Ohio State fans, obviously, in this area. They're wearing Buckeyes around there. There's some serious propaganda going on here. Sheesh. They finally got them to actually wear them for the game, so it must have worked.
There you go. How about that? Win in Ohio.
That's right.
Do as a Buckeye.
Nice catch on an inside route there.
And, you know, it's Koyama who made that catch. It's Jose Miguel Garcia finally made that stop. And you see the precision of Team Japan. And granted, that's all I understand. That's only the first offensive play here of the second half. But you also saw it on the defensive side on that 3 and out that they forced good field position and now trying to take advantage of that. Now what I want to see Team Japan do is they've had it rolling, but it seems like they shoot themselves in the foot.
And for Mexico, they cannot afford to give up a touchdown here. This is a chance for Japan to really blow things open.
Well, it's caught on the middle screen, and they get down to the 10-yard line. So, again, it continues to roll for Japan. Shigematsu made that catch.
You know, I got to tell you this, though, Kevin. Woodward and Bernstein got nothing on Samantha Steele. How about her getting in there and getting the information? And you know, the natives promoting their home state through Mexico.
Absolutely.
Pretty soon, you know, Canton's going to be a sister city down there. It's going to work out really well.
You may be stretching it at this point.
Hey, they're trying their best right now. They're giving them the Buckeyes, and off they go. But I like the investigative reporting. Great information.
Well, that time, Yoshimoto could not quite hold on.
Discretion sometimes the better part of valor.
Absolutely. Problem is that many times, even with the discretion, you're still going to get popped anyway.
Yeah, might as well catch the ball. That's what every coach in the country will tell you. In any country, you might as well catch it. You're going to take the hit anyway. But that's a tough one there, to look up and see that coming at you. That was number 94, David Villasas.
Yeah. He's a big man. He's listed at 6 foot 235.
He looked bigger.
Yes, he
but
does.
Then again, Yoshimoto's 5'6",
exactly,
140 pounds.
It's all relative.
The size really increases there. Back to the I formation, quarterback sneak, second time this game for a first down.
It works on third and about 6 inches to go for the first down. So now the drive will continue with first down and goal to go. Relations there once again with that tackle. See, you know, normally 6 foot 235 wouldn't look that big on a football field, but when you're chasing a guy who's 5'6", 140, it's all relative to where you're standing.
How about the playbook of Japan, though?
With
their offensive coordinator, Takayuki Sanaga, doing an excellent job varying their attack, formations, different play sets.
Throwing into the end zone here, and it's intercepted. Boy, did Mexico need that in a big, bad way. Francisco Gomez Yunta there makes the pick and snuffs out the drive. And what did we say about Japan? They've been rolling, and then all of a sudden they hit a big speed bump, and they've done it once again on their opening drive here in this third quarter.
And all credit to Mexico's defense for hanging in there and creating the turnover that prevented Japan from scoring. I thought for sure Japan was in a great position, and I jinxed them again with talking about how great they were doing. And Iraqi makes one more mistake, and Mexico capitalizes on it.
There's a strong safety, Francisco Gomez Yunta, who just made the huge interception in the end zone for Mexico.
One of the few mistakes by the quarterback, Iraqi, Kevin, into double coverage. Look at that. And a great job playing high-low by the Mexico defense and able to pick off the pass coming from inside out.
Yeah, and an assist to his teammate as well, because, you know, it was Salazar who really kept him in the end zone, would made him good idea because now they bring it out to the 20-yard line. They'll try this one with Paz, and Paz picks up 10. Ran it into the middle of the line like we've seen a lot of the running plays so far tonight by both teams, but popped it outside and was able to pick up 10.
Nice vision by David Paz, number 8. Seeing that things were jammed up inside. Sees the cut, makes the first guy miss in the hole, and gets to the sideline. Nice block downfield from his teammate, number 5, Sergio Gonzalez.
Kazaburo Isagawa was there to make that tackle.
You've mentioned his name a bunch
Absolutely.
tonight.
He's been a busy man. Straight drop again, looking downfield. Penalty markers down, and the ball is incomplete. Well, they will learn. Jose Carlos Lozano, you're going to run to the football just a little bit more, but we'll check the marker back at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a hold against Mexico. These are 19 and under junior national teams. Team Mexico going against Team Canada, all coming together here in Canton, Ohio. International Federation of American Football.
56 offense, penalties decline. Second down.
2009 IFAF Junior World Championships here in Canton.
And Kevin, they forced that hold with just a 3-man rush. So they're doing a nice job creating pressure now against Team Mexico's offensive front. Because it's not often that with a 3-man rush, you're going to pick up a holding penalty.
Well, they back it up now. 2nd down and 10. Yeah, usually you don't have to.
You should be able to handle that with your 5 up front.
Roll left. Pressure coming from the backside. Throws it, and it's complete. Caught. And again, you talk about calling a guy's name a lot tonight. Jose Carlos Lozano, another catch, and he's going to be very close to a Mexico first down.
How beautifully was this ball thrown? Look at him set,
Feathered
gather, over the top, takes him to the sideline. Only his receiver has a chance at that. Well thrown as he moves outside of the pocket. And nice job by Lozano stretching out and catching the football.
And moving the chains and stretching out at the end of the play to get the first down. I think he saw the marker on the near sideline. Jose Carlos Lozano, 5 catches today.
A lot of credit to this to Team Mexico. They avoided what appeared to be a knockout punch coming from Japan, and now they're moving the ball downfield themselves.
Japan scored with about 15 seconds remaining in the first half. After a Mexico fumble, they scored late to take a 28-13 lead. We're 4 minutes deep here in the second half.
They'll have to move, play clock down to 7.
Get the snap away with 2 on the play clock. Good protection again, steps into the throw, and it's incomplete just over the head once again of Jose Carlos Lozano. Kayama was the man in coverage. The pressure was coming. We really stepped into that throw. We kind of I think we really saw the strength of Vega's arm on that throw.
A little high with the delivery, but you're exactly right. We've seen he's exhibited a strong arm all evening. That one there, because it was high, was a potential interception ball. Fortunately, the defender's momentum was going in the opposite direction, unable to stop and catch the football.
I wonder about the route, too, because it looked like 2 receivers in the green jersey right next to one another. Throws this one under pressure, and it's caught. Check out the moves. Edgar Arroyo. Arroyo fighting down to the 32-yard line. Says, if you're not going to tackle me, I'm not going down. Nifty 27-yard gain.
We've talked this evening about the courage of the receivers for both teams going inside, and there's Arroyo going into the middle, into the briar patch, as an old coach of mine used to call it. Catching the ball, bouncing off of a few people.
Well, I tell you what, if he weighs 160 pounds, I'll walk back to the hotel tonight.
Hand me your keys, right?
5'6", 160 is what they list him. He looks more like about $135.
He doesn't look any bigger than Yoshimoto, does he?
Here's the reverse. Juan Carlos Maya had nowhere to go right, cut it back to the left, and that is about as exciting a 4-yard pickup as you'll see. Nagao finally made that tackle. Everything on the reverse going right. They closed it off. He took it back to the left.
Watch who makes the big block when he comes back in the opposite direction. Right there. You know who that is? That's the quarterback,
absolutely.
Roberto Vega, doing a little bit of everything. And we talked about the scouting and teams being able to sniff out certain plays, having seen them play a couple of times already. Japan had that one diagnosed perfectly, and they still picked up some yardage.
And the man he hit was Shota Ino, and he is still down on the field at the 40-yard line. I beg your pardon. That's Anuma, the middle linebacker. Kohi Anuma. And they will get him up. You know, when this Japanese team played Team Germany, Team Germany is a very big team. Team Japan, a very small team. And you learned a lot about the Team Japan team. It seemed like a lot of players were coming off with injuries, but they were right back. You saw the fight. That's the thing about both of these teams. There is a ton of fight in both of these ball clubs. Mexico's done most of their damage on the ground. 47 yards rushing, only 18 for Japan. Here they've got a 2nd down and 5. He's going to throw it, and it was almost picked off. Well, you talk about lurking in the weeds, and Mariyama was just baiting him to throw that football, and when he did, Mariyama stepped right in front of the receiver.
And Japan is hoping this is not one of those plays that they live to regret, because this is one you go and you pick off the pass. They have him trapped. Here's your opportunity. Pick it off. Unable to do so, which means it's still 3rd down. And Roberto Vega, the way Mexico's been running offense, this is a more than manageable 3rd down for them to have an opportunity to pick up.
3rd down and 5. Just 1 of 4 tonight on 3rd down conversions. That one is incomplete. You know, it seems like all night long Mexico has been picking up 5 and 6 yards on each and every pass play. When they need 5, they couldn't get it. And maybe more importantly right now, Roberto Vega comes limping off the field, immediately goes right to the bench. Looking at that left ankle. So now, David Antonio Aceves, a 44-yard field goal attempt.
If I were Japan, I would play loose and be alert for fake here.
Yeah, they'll kick it. And it is wide left and short.
I would concede the field goal there and not give him a bigger play.
So now the question is with that man right there and that left ankle. Now, I want to go back to the play before that. If you remember the one he almost threw the interception, you remember how he was being held up. There was a defensive lineman hanging on that left ankle. He could very well have hurt the ankle on the play before that.
Then he came out with another play where he had to run to his left trying to complete the pass. And remember, he just hopped the pass, and that's not been normal for him. A little more accurate than that. So your observation is probably right on the mark.
All right, so now Japan will take it over after the missed field goal. And they go right up the middle, and there's just not a whole lot there. Shun Kitagawa can attest to. Mexican defense, Galvan up front, Yanez, Patino.
Get the idea that these teams, the running game for both teams, is simply a keep you honest. You know, it's not a huge staple for either side. This is trying to keep you honest.
This is the play we're talking about. See if he's holding on to the left ankle here.
Look at the bottom.
Absolutely. That's when he hurt the ankle. It wasn't on the next play when he ran off the field.
Good pickup.
2nd down and 11. They'll try to pick up some yardage here, and will do so. Indo goes end over end and goes down to the 40-yard line as David Israel Ramirez, 5'9", 150, made the tackle coming up from the cornerback spot, but not before a pickup of 14 yards, and they'll move the chains for Japan.
You know, there's going to be, as we've look at Iraqi complete this past Indo. Coming up very soon, Japan, their senior national team, is hosting a Notre Dame alumni team coached by Lou Holtz coming up here in the next couple of weeks. This young man we're seeing here play quarterback for Japan. Get used to seeing him. He'll be the senior national quarterback before long, and probably will be around for a long time playing against teams from the United States when they go over to play.
Jumpy Yoshimoto, that's the one thing we've talked about, how small and diminutive nature of these receivers. You can't really say that about that man right there because Iraqi stands 6'1" and weighs 205 pounds.
You'd love to have an opportunity to find out what he's doing in the weight room, and a good job there by Yoshimoto holding on to the football as they continue to try and rake it out of his hands. Daniel Espinoza, number 29 for Mexico, attempting to do so.
A 13-yard pickup. So back-to-back passes of 14 yards and 13 yards for Iraqi. Tries it again here, throws it over the middle, a lot of folks there, and threw it to the right color jersey, and guess who? Junpei Yoshimoto makes the catch. Angel Curry was there to knock him down, but again, another positive play and an 8-yard gain, I beg your pardon. Under 5 minutes to go here in the third.
This guy's been something else right from the very beginning of this game. Notice how he reads the coverage and reads where the open spots on the field are. And again, not shy about going into the middle of the field and presenting himself as a target for his quarterback.
What these receivers lack in size, I think they make up for an intestinal fortitude.
Halfback pass.
Here we go, looking up top. Oh, Endo was wide open, and that was Takashiro Hata, who came in at the running back spot, and he is listed as a backup quarterback on this team.
Against Canada, they ran him on a reverse, and he faked. They ran him on a toss, faked the reverse, and threw a pass downfield for a 33-yard gain that was complete, led to the first touchdown of the game. Here, it's just the option. And then Hata, I think his eyes got big when he realized how wide open Endo was, and instead of putting air under it, he tried to gun it and blew a golden opportunity because that was an easy 6.
Absolutely. Got way too much of a hurry. So here we go, 3rd down and 2. Big play on this drive. Even though it looks like you're in 4-down territory, they do throw it. It's complete, and it should be enough for a first down. As once again, Nikoi Shigematsu makes the reception, and Salazar's been the best defensive back for this Mexican team here tonight.
He's done a nice job of defending his portion of the field. But the Japanese receivers, when they get their hands on the football, it's rare that you're dislodging it. They've taken hit after hit and held on to the football and accumulated more first downs.
It was a 3rd and 3 when it got him 4 yards.
I am so glad to not be a defensive coordinator working against this Japanese offense because they show you everything and you can't relax at all.
Going to keep it. Rocky steps out of bounds wisely, but not before picking up a good 6-7 yard gain.
And here's something to keep in mind too, Kevin, is as we've learned, as we've done our research, and you and Samantha and myself, we've talked with these different teams. These national teams coming from the other countries does not mean that they're together all year long.
Absolutely.
They're coming together as the United States team is coming together about 3 weeks to a month ahead of this tournament to get themselves ready. So what you're looking at with these playbooks is what they've gotten done in about a 3-week span, which makes it all that more impressive.
It is amazing. They hand this one off up the middle. In a way, beg your pardon, that's Katagawa. And, you know, that's what I was thinking when we had meetings with coaches, that they would have simplified things. And, you know, not at all. And that is a credit. At least we can talk about it on the United States side. It is a credit to not only the character and the intelligence of the players, but also take it another step in the intricate schemes that are being played on the high school level here in the United States.
And we're seeing it across the world now.
Absolutely.
Because here's Japan coming in with their playbook. What have we seen from Mexico? The similar
Same
playbook.
thing, absolutely.
Right? A number of different sets, formations, plays, counters off of plays we've seen before. The defenses, changing coverages. We're seeing all that done in about a month span from these teams.
Throws this one, it's complete. Endo has it at the 10-yard line. These teams, for the most part, came together in mid to late May, showed up for tryout camps in a single respective city in their country. The teams were chosen, got together, and they've basically been working out together since, for the most part, about 4 weeks, right?
Yeah, it was about that time, and there's another well-thrown ball by Yuichiro Araki, number 10. Another nice catch by Shoma Endo, number 15. And again, they're in that same spot that you've pointed out, Kevin. It's almost a danger zone for Japan.
10th play of the drive comes from the 10-yard line on 1st down and goal to go from just inside the 10. And they'll throw this one. Shouldn't have a problem here. Touchdown. Junpei Yoshimoto.
And they finally cash in. We saw the graphic right before the touchdown pass. 3 times in the red zone, 1 touchdown, and no other scores. They were able to up that number and ratio on the last play.
How about the golf clap?
Oh, yeah.
That was.
Does that go back to what Samantha Steele told us
believe
earlier
so.
about, hey, they don't show a lot of emotion, but the points continue to mount on the scoreboard. Well-thrown ball. Yoshimoto concentrates, and now Endo adds the extra point.
Yoshimoto holding on the extra point. And his 3rd touchdown catch of the day. And Japan leading at 35-13 as we head down onto the field. Very special story as we go to Samantha Steele.
Great story, especially for the 4th of July. I am here with the wife of Lieutenant Colonel Fenton Moore, who happens to be the umpire in tonight's game, Maria Moore. Thank you so much for taking the time. But first, I've heard this awesome story about what your husband did in his first tour in Iraq, teaching guys to be officials. Yeah. Tell me more about that.
Well, the Ohio High School Athletic Association here in Ohio let him actually train some fellow soldiers who were from Ohio in the game, and so they used pylons for, people, players, and then they, actually taught the mechanics over there, on a sand field, and, he did the book work, and they had a way to keep their mind off the other battlefield, you know what I mean? Right. So it was kind of neat.
Now, he's been home for a couple years, but he's about to start his second tour in a couple of months. What do you want people to understand about what it's like to have a husband in the military?
Well, all I can say is, it's tough for both of them to kind of share their dad with the world and miss out on, doing the fun activities that a kid gets to do with their dad, in my son's case. And then, in my case, it's one thing to let your husband be a weekend official and go off and do high school and college games, but to go for a whole year, without having him around, it can be challenging.
Talk about the pride, though, when you know your husband is doing something that has so much meaning and importance.
Well, I'll tell you what, isn't it great that he can keep the world safe, especially this country, to be able to have the freedoms to do what we like to do on our weekends and our holidays, especially today on Independence Day. I think, it's especially.
What an awesome country. Thank you so much, first off, for the sacrifices your family makes. This is a great day to celebrate. And, guys, you got an awesome dad. What do you think about that?
It's cool.
Yeah? You think your dad's a pretty good official? Yeah. I think so. You going to be just like him when you grow up?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. Well, I think that would be a great thing. Thank you so much for your time. We'll send it back up to you guys.
All right. Thank you very much. What a great story. Michael, that's 9-year-old Michael. You saw Katie, age 4, here today. And, well, man, you can't say thank you just seems just not nearly enough. Lieutenant Colonel Fenton Moore, like Sam said, getting ready to start his second tour of duty in Iraq, the 16th Engineering Brigade. And we are all honored to be in his presence here today.
15-yard penalty. Still second down.
And, before today's game, and there you see Bill Lemonnier. We've talked about what a great official he is. He's the one that really made sure we knew this story. And before today's game, they had a bit of a surprise. Bill Lemonnier handed the coin for the opening coin toss to Lieutenant Colonel Fenton Moore and had him do it, had his wife and kids come out there.
Wife and kids out there and had him do it. Very classy move by classy man Bill Lemonnier.
That is incomplete and almost picked off. Penalty marker is down once again. And again, big penalties have gone the way. That was Nakamura who almost had the interception.
And what's happened, too, you pointed out the injury to Roberto Vega going into the last possession. Eric Sedano, number 12, is in the game now at quarterback. And they're struggling to move the football. They had a hands-to-the-face penalty against an offensive lineman during the time we were talking about the Lieutenant Colonel Fenton Moore. And now they continue to move backwards, another penalty against Mexico. Field position so critical, and Japan more than happy to accept it.
It's interference. Offense, number 5. After distance to the goal, second down.
Mexico heading the wrong direction right now. Sergio Gonzalez called for the offensive pass interference, and so now it will be second down and about an acre and a half to go for first down. Well, it's second down and 34. So from the 11, you're looking to make the 45-yard line. They will hand it off up the middle as David Alexis Paz and broke it outside, refusing to go down, and he's out to the 15-yard line. So Eric Sedano, 5'11", 195 pounds, coming in at quarterback. He's had experience here in these games so far here in Canton. You take a look at what he's done so far. Just 4 of 13, 57 yards. Obviously the second choice, but Vega's the man that they would love to have on the field right now. As far as Vega is concerned, he is still sitting on the bench, so he's not even up and walking around. Another injury to the Japanese team.
Kevin, as we prepared for this, and we've been around football a lot, I learned
I haven't even been over
that Samantha Steele Her father is a high school football coach. And Samantha, from what you've seen growing up with the high school football at your dad coach and what you're seeing here from these guys, have you seen the advances the game has made around the world?
Well, you know, guys, it's pretty similar, actually. I was at 7-on-7 Passing League last week. My dad coaches at Central High School in Phoenix. And the game is a little slow. They actually have a lot of Mexican players on their team because of the immigration from Mexico. So I'm actually kind of seeing a similar game right now. High school football isn't that big in Arizona yet. This is not Texas football, guys. So we're still working our way up, too.
Well, we've got Texas and Florida represented here.
It's not bad. I mean, they do a pretty good job down there, too. It's interesting for all of us to watch this, though, isn't it, to see the advances that we're seeing around the world from the different teams. And it's kind of funny, the spread offense, which is taking over the United States, is taking over in all the other countries too, because everyone's running the spread.
Taking over the world. Sedano just got nailed. Yoshiaki Fuji there to make that hit. And that was a long and confusing run to the sideline there for Eric Sedano.
We've spent a lot of time praising the offenses of these teams.
Yeah.
I think it's time we give Japan's defense a little more praise. They've come out this second half and just essentially shut down Mexico. They've done a terrific job.
Loose football, Aceves lost it. Touchdown, Japan. I think it was Sugimoto who got on it. Yohei Sugimoto gets the touchdown. And once again, another mistake by the Mexican team.
Yeah, the punter is just unable to field it. That's a snap that normally he should be able to field. It's a little low, but it was one that he should have been able to get. Unable to hold on to it. A little bit low, but he doesn't get his body in front. It's kind of like being a shortstop in baseball. Got to drop your back gate, get down, make sure the ball doesn't get by you. Instead, it turns into a touchdown for Japan.
Savas couldn't handle it. And Sugimoto will get his name in the paper. Here's the point after. And it is good, and just like that, wow. It was good in the first half, and the third quarter, maybe even better for Japan. They lead 42-13. 7 seconds to go here in this third quarter. And, you know, you talk so much about, you'll see with coaches, you'll make adjustments at halftime, and certainly, whatever adjustments Japan needed to make, they certainly did, particularly on the defensive end when they went into that locker room. And there's one thing to making adjustments. There's another thing to coming out and executing them, and that is something that Japan has absolutely done.
And the vast majority of adjustments are just identifying what you did well in the first half and getting to it quicker. You know, a lot of people think these adjustments are you go and you look at the turnover story. A big reason why Japan is ahead in the ball game. They're +2 in the turnovers. But most people think you go into the halftime and guys drop these X's and O's and guys change coverages and we roll formations and add all this stuff. That's really not what's happening. You don't have enough time.
Right.
Because you haven't repped it, you haven't executed it, and you're going to have a lot of busts because people be in the wrong spot. You identify what you did well in the first half and tune it up.
Wow, that ball is hit deep. And it'll go into the end zone for a touchback. So it'll come out to the 20-yard line. We'll see who comes in at quarterback for Mexico. And what now they will come back. And again, this is good news, is Roberto Isaias Vega will come back in with 7 seconds to go in the third quarter. He had injured the ankle a couple of possessions ago. Left the field, and now he is back, and we'll see if he is good to go.
And the offensive line for Mexico really needs to jump up their game because Japan has moved the line of scrimmage against them. Every time the ball is snapped, the line of scrimmage is moving backwards. So Mexico has to find a way to give Vega an opportunity to throw the football downfield, down 42-13. Field position heavily in favor of Japan.
Throws this one, but again, hit as he throws. It's caught, and a nice gain of 10 yards. Well, that was a situation where, you know, it made a lot out of not very much. Kayama makes the tackle, but Edmundo Ramos was able to pick up 9 yards on the play on what will be the final play of the third quarter. So 3 quarters of football in the bronze medal game in the books, in Japan dominating Mexico, leading 42-13. 42-13 the score as we come to you from Canton, Ohio. There you see the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and what a great day it was, a chance to get over there and see the Hall of Fame and museum. You know, football fans tune into the entire fall semester as Fox College Sports offers its biggest slate of exclusive Big 12 football ever. Coming up this fall here on Fox College Sports.
Yeah, they don't have any good football teams in the Big 12, do they?
Oh,
they're loaded.
My goodness.
Again, just as last year, everybody thought it was great last year. Here it comes again.
Returning, I saw where this is the first time in the history of the award that 2 Heisman Trophy winners will return in 2009 to play in the same season. How about that?
I wonder about the third place guy too.
Well, you know what?
McCoy's back.
A lot of people think he may be his turn. Tebow's got one, Bradford's got one, and Colt McCoy right there in line. All right, take a look at the third quarter stats brought to you by the Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Festival. It's a one-of-a-kind celebration, and a third quarter absolutely dominated by Japan. The total yards not that big of a difference right now, but it was all Japan in that third.
It's a broken record, isn't it? It's the turnovers and points off turnovers. Japan 21 off of turnovers.
This one thrown and caught. And that's enough for a first down. And I think, you know, again, we go back to, may sound cliche, as Diego Jair Villamontes. You know, you're not going to score 29 points on one play right here. You got to be able to go ahead and just stay in your game plan and move the football down the field.
And notice that they are moving to a quicker tempo offense, not huddling, getting on the line of scrimmage, and trying to get downfield and score and conserve as much time as possible to try and get the ball back and continue to score in order to have a shot at winning this ball game.
Villamontes another catch, and now you start to see that little bit of rhythm and a little bit of spring in the step for this Mexico offense, and something we have not seen, quite frankly, all evening.
And Shinichi Takeda, the defensive coordinator for Japan, I think he wants to do a little bend, don't break right now.
Now you got to take advantage of that, and that's what Mexico's doing as they find Edmundo Ramos. Sugimoto was there to make that tackle. Sugimoto who recovered the bad snap in the end zone just moments ago to put Japan into the 42-point range at 11.5 minutes, under 11.5 minutes to go here in this game.
Wouldn't be surprised if Japan starts to substitute the defensive lineman rushing the quarterback a little more often. They'll get tired trying to chase the quarterback around.
Here comes the pressure. Vega directing traffic, throwing downfield. What a throw! Touchdown, Mexico. My goodness, he could only put it in one place, and he absolutely did. Christian Rene Gomez makes the catch, a 28-yard touchdown catch. And Kayama had good coverage, but he just threw it right over the top.
And the mobility of these two quarterbacks. Roberto Vega certainly doesn't look the part. You wouldn't think about him outside the pocket. But how about him throwing against his body outside the pocket, perfectly thrown right over the defender and into the arms of his waiting receiver, who made a very nice catch. And he's so busy celebrating, he's supposed to be on the field for extra point.
Christian Rene Gomez, they're going for two here.
Yes.
Try to get that point back from the missed extra point earlier. Fake it to Gomez, throws into the end zone, and it's incomplete. And while your man was wide open, he got nailed as he threw the football. Yeah, Aaron Mendoza was back there by himself, but Vega had a lot of company as he threw that football. So 11:02 to go. Timeout on the field, fourth quarter. Mexico trying to get back in it. Japan leads 42-19. Now 42-19. Japan is on top. Well, college hoops fans, you can start the 09-2010 college basketball campaign in Paradise with the 09 Paradise Jam. Fox College Sports brings you exclusive coverage of this preseason tournament featuring Boston College, Tennessee, go Vols, St. Joe's, and DePaul. A whole lot more in the 2009 field. It's here only on Fox College Sports. Well, if Mexico needed something, it was to score. They also needed to score quickly. 65-second drive, just what the doctor ordered right now for the folks in green. Now Japan awaiting the onside kick as Aceves has it teed up. And see if he'll kick it deep, and does. Man, one man deep. And fortunate for Japan, that went into the end zone. His shoe, in a way, had to go over his head.
But they were playing for the onside kick and conceding, hey, if you want to kick it deep, that's fine. We just want possession of the football. But they did not want to give up an onside kick up front. Coach Yamazaki doing a nice job trying to think ahead and say, hey, anything you want to kick deep, fine. We'll chase it down. We'll take it at the 20, whatever. But you're not giving up the onside kick.
That's one of those situations where you would hope that you could get a guy that could pop it up around the 20-yard line and let everybody sprint to the football.
I don't think we're quite that sophisticated in the kicking game, but you're right. You're exactly right. That would be ideal.
Rocky's missed on only 10 of his 31 attempts today. Keep it between the hash marks and let the clock roll as we are under 11 minutes to play in this football game. Giovanni Carrillo, number 40 there, who plays for Del Villar on the college level, made that tackle. He also has a twin brother on this team that's injured.
Unable to play, so he's playing for 2. And don't expect Japan to just kind of tuck their horns in here a little bit. 10:30 on the clock. I don't think they're going to try and they're going to milk it, of course. But I don't think they're going to just simply try and run the ball inside and punt and give the ball back to Mexico the way they're moving it.
Here's Junpei, and Yoshimoto just went down 8 yards, turned around, and the football was there. Artigas was there to make that tackle. Again, it has been Junpei Yoshimoto. We knew he was good coming in today, and he certainly has not disappointed.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Big touchdown there, and then this was the second touchdown of the game to make it 14-0. And once again, open man. He's had the sure hands and very, very good speed.
One of the keys to the game for Japan was that size does not matter. And Junpei Yoshimoto, a prime example of that. What was that listing on him?
5'6", $140.
5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Well, they'll back it up 5, and it'll be 3rd down and 10 now. So they'll back it up to the 20-yard line.
Yuta Kaizu, number 65 for Japan, jumping a little bit early. Not going to make Coach Yamazaki very happy. He wants the clock to continue to run.
Look at that. Japan, talk about efficient. You get outgained by 16 yards in the 4th quarter, and right now you look at the lead. You got a 23-point lead. That is holding on to the football, not turning it over, not making mistakes. Basically, a lot of the things that this team from Mexico has done today. Diego Patino was there to make that tackle, so it'll be a punting time. And remember, we're talking about 19 and under teams. So these are basically graduating high school seniors to put it on at a United States level.
Yeah, exactly. When I first arrived here in Canton, one of the first things I heard was how well coached Team Japan would be and how efficient they would be, lack of penalties and all that. And after this punt, we may get into that a little bit more.
Well, we get it out to the 47-yard line, and that's one thing about both of these teams. Neither one of them is going to quit. Right now, this Mexico team down 23 points. You're going to see plenty of fight down the stretch here with just a little over 8.5 minutes to play. But what I was talking about was from the standpoint, I'm not knocking the Mexican team. They've made a lot of mistakes in this game. But you think about it, they haven't been together very long, and we've all been to high school games in the United States, which is basically what you're watching here. And you see a fair share of turnovers, and you see
it all.
Absolutely.
But we were talking about the Japanese team and how well they've played. And Samantha Steele told us at the beginning of the game that the Team Mexico thought they had an advantage in coaching. Well, I'm wondering what they're thinking after seeing the efficiency of the Team Japan so far this evening.
Guys, I think a lot of the advantages that they thought they had were because of their experiences, especially because of satellite TV now, seeing the NFL on TV. They get to know these players a little bit, and so they understand concepts and not necessarily execution coming from that. One of the guys they talked about a lot tonight was Tony Romo. That's kind of expected, I guess, because of the Cowboy fans.
Vaqueros.
But the guy that you probably wouldn't think they're fans of, Bobby Bowden over at Florida State. They said they're huge fans of them because their coaches went over and spent time with Bobby Bowden during the 90s. I asked them if they're still fans now, and they said, the Seminoles aren't that good anymore, so we're Mac Brown fans. How about that?
Hey, I tell you what, if you ever meet Bobby Bowden, you can't help but be a fan.
You're a fan. Coach Bowden, one of the great ambassadors of the sport, but an interesting perspective about how this game grows and where the influences come from. And I think that if we interviewed all of these teams' coaches, we'd find similar stories about time they've spent with college coaches or college programs and going out and seeing things. And with satellite TV, I can tell you, they see us everywhere.
Absolutely.
All the teams here. All the teams here have seen American football on satellite TV.
Absolutely.
So it's an interesting observation from Team Mexico. But I think they're learning that everyone is doing this nowadays.
And what I think here on this 3rd down and 10, Vega gets away, looking downfield. He will pick up the first down. Now, you know, in that same light, what I think is going to be interesting is tomorrow, and keep a reminder here, 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow, 10 o'clock Pacific, we'll have Team USA going against Team Canada. And in that same vein, what's going to be interesting is, you know, the Canadian players, they have 2 different styles of football to look at. Yes, they watch the NFL on satellite television, but remember, the CFL is what they play. They play Canadian Football League rules on the high school
and
level.
longer field,
Deeper
3 downs,
end zones,
12 guys on a team, 12 guys on a side. The motion rules are different because everyone can be in motion at once. Here it's one person in motion. So a lot of differences that they have to adjust to come and play in the Junior World Championships.
It looks a little like arena football on a huge field where you saw what's called high motion, and you'll have guys that basically time it right at the line of scrimmage.
No nets, and you don't have to worry about throwing the player back into the field to play if he comes into your seat.
Exactly. That's but see, so they have to go from that to playing with a 10-yard deep end zone, 53 yards wide and 100 yards long. So it's a different look, and I know that may seem like it's not that big a deal, but you think about it, you get used to making throws a certain way. This one's thrown. Complete touchdown. Juan Carlos Maya, and for the first time today, Mexico with back-to-back scores, a 25-yard touchdown pass.
Another nice throw moving to his left by Roberto Vega, the big guy. Watch how he moves and is able to get himself shoulders set up and delivers another beautiful ball downfield for another score for Team Mexico.
And good footwork on a bad wheel, too.
Go for 2 again.
And they get the 2, chasing the point, and they catch up at least with 2 of them. As Diego Jair Villamontes there to make that catch, and it is now 42-27. 7:02 to play in the ball game. Mexico hanging in. We'll be back in a moment. Oh, Japan leading 42-27. Some of the best from each country. 19 and under the Junior World Championships, I beg your pardon. International Federation of American Football. Kevin Ashenfelter, Charles Davis with you here up top. Smith Steele down on the field. Look at the numbers this quarter. And Japan is going to have to be very careful because a lot of times once you check out of a ball game,
it's hard to restart.
Hard to get back on the trolley. And
that's why this possession is key. You see the Team Mexico greeting one of their fallen players. Got hurt earlier in the ball game.
I think it's Alejandro Zamora, who went down maybe with a knee or an ankle injury early on. Now this is taken, and here we'll have a return back out to the 20-yard line. And so Shu Inoue there to bring it out to the 20. And now we'll see if
this is huge.
Japan can get this thing rolling.
This is huge. Mexico obviously knows they need a stop. And Japan has to create some first downs and keep things moving along. They can't give the ball right back to Mexico the way their offense has been clicking.
It has been a game dominated by Japan, but now 14 unanswered points by Mexico. As they have come from 4 to down 42-13, now it's 42-27. A 1st and 10 for Japan. Step in a throw, throws this one, and it's complete. Well, just what the doctor ordered for Mexico. Open man out to the 42-yard line, and they'll move the chains. Japan needed that in a bad way. Oshawa, who made the catch, 22-yard gain.
I love this as a counter play. You know, remember that out they've been running most of the game into the short zone where number 23, Jose Salazar, has been playing? This time they showed the out in the short zone to keep him occupied, and then ran the flag route behind it. And on first down, that's what they completed. See, that's Salazar in the short zone.
Scrambling to get back. You saw 23 is back number.
It's not his coverage, but they kept Salazar occupied and hit him deep with the flag. Excellent call.
Throwing this one and threw it right into the middle of that defense, and it's complete at the 50-yard line. So right at midfield, once again, Kota Osawa. And Jose Miguel Garcia made the tackle, but now it's the Japan offense that's clicking just a bit.
How about the confidence Team Japan, their coaching staff, has in their starting quarterback, Yuichiro Araki? Because normally you're looking to try milk clock, which they're doing a little bit of, but you're also saying safe throws, safe throws, safe throws. If they think he'll take care of the ball well enough, then they're throwing everything in their offense.
Look at this, downfield, and it's almost intercepted. Once again, I'm telling you, you can't see enough about what Jose Salazar has done at that cornerback spot. And Junpei Yoshimoto, who has been a huge part of the offense for Japan, 3 touchdown catches, holding that left wrist.
And that's a big, big loss if he's unable to continue for Japan, because he's the true go-to guy.
And he looks like he is in
a lot of pain.
Absolutely. See if we can tell what happened.
And they're fortunate that wasn't picked off. Into double coverage again. He came down wrong on it.
Well, you saw it. I don't need to elaborate on it. His left arm is hurt. 42-27, and they are going to attend to Junpei Yoshimoto as he tried to catch himself on his way back down onto the turf. I don't know if you were looking at the replay, and we probably won't show it again, but I would be surprised if he did not break his left arm. But we will take a break. 5:48 to go. Japan on top, 42-27. Well, 42-27. I can imagine the conversation has something to do with remaining focused. As they have seen, and they all know, a severe arm injury to Junpei Yoshimoto. The wide receivers, you can tell they're going to put an air splint on that broken left arm. Came down, caught himself with his left arm, or with his left hand, and they are going to get him up. A round of applause for him.
Tremendous football player.
Well, you're not kidding. 3 touchdown catches today.
I've seen 2 games of his, and if I'm a coach, I want him with me. He can play for me anytime he wants to. I don't care about what his measurements are at 5'6", 140. He can come play anytime. Tremendous tournament by that young man.
That big blow as well. Comes with 5:48 to go.
And a big third down now as we shift back to the actual football.
Absolutely. 9 catches. Look at that.
He had 8 against Canada, 8 for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now he's got 9 for 112 and 3 touchdowns. Don't forget also, he's the holder, extra points field goal.
Great point. So 3rd down and 3. Oh, look at this. They put it on the ground. And Mexico has the football.
And that was a surprise to me.
And a very rare mistake for the Japanese team. And Jorge Alva there to fall on the football. And now can Mexico draw even closer?
The surprise was not the play call. They were trying to run option. The surprise to me was Yujiro Araki not taking care of the football there. Play was essentially dead right out of the gate. Go ahead and take the hit, punt it away, and keep playing. Instead, he's trying to make a toss to a totally covered trail back and turns the ball over in great field position.
He did something we have not seen today. He panicked. That ball's knocked away. And did Vega get back on it? If he didn't,
he had 2
the offensive lineman did.
Can Japan's defense make a few plays now? They haven't done so in the 4th quarter. The 3rd quarter, they dominated. Can they get back into it? 93 there, knocking the ball free. Kyosuke Kamiyama.
Some of those big guys getting ready to fall on it.
Japan rushing 2, spying with a 3rd guy.
Well, Vega will take it downfield. Eludes one set of tacklers. Lowers his head and gets a first down. Good heavens. At 6'4", 225, why not?
And it turned out to be a good play. Why? Because he got the first down. And here's my point. If he doesn't get the first down trying to run over someone, the clock continues to run and they have to scramble and lose precious time. But because he got the first down, the clock stops to reset the chains. That gets them up on the line of scrimmage. They don't lose as much time for the next play.
Well, he lowered his shoulder and went right into Mariama. Mariama was holding on for dear life. Now that is a tough play for the offense. Goes nowhere. David Alexis Paz back to the line of scrimmage. Boy, negative plays just cost you time on the clock, and the clock is the biggest ally right now for Japan. Nagao was there to make that stop. 2nd and 10.
Again, Japan showing 2 guys rushing, 9 dropping into coverage.
Caught. Diamantes. He's down to the 17-yard line. Sujimoto made the stop, but with 4:10 to go, an 18-yard gain, Mexico within striking distance.
There's plenty of time left. If Mexico's able to punch this in, Japan has to do something to slow them down. Again, just rush 2.
Throws it in the end zone, and that was a bad pass. There were a lot of white jerseys around, and they are fortunate that was not intercepted. Kayama was right there, and Hirotoshi almost had himself an interception.
I could hear my former secondary coach at Tennessee, Ron Zook. There's my time called by Bill Lamagna and have another player down for Japan. But Ron Zook, the head coach at Illinois, that missed interception, a lost opportunity is never regained. How many times have we seen Japan on defense get their hands on the football? I think that's the 2nd or 3rd time tonight with an opportunity to end a drive by Mexico, unable to do so. Mexico still has an opportunity.
Kamiyama is the man who was down.
He's been active all night long.
So a lost opportunity.
I can hear him now. Davis.
So is it true that a defensive back is a wide receiver
that couldn't catch? Unfortunately, I am evidence that proves that one.
Second and 10. Throws this one, and it is knocked away. And so that one intended in the end zone for Jose Carlos Lozano. Motoki Suge had the coverage.
Japan has elected to rush 2 most of this drive and is trying to flood the passing zones with defenders. But I have to admit, Kevin, there's a lot of openings for Mexico to throw the football, even with that many people in the secondary.
This one is incomplete. Skipped it in. Now, let me ask you this. And I know it seems like Mexico, they have come from way behind in this game. You know, you're down, granted, by 2 scores, but you've got nearly 4 minutes left in the game. My point is, go get 10 yards rather than having to throw the ball into the end zone.
And they had it there. He just skipped the throw.
So now 4th down and 10. The line to make is the 7-yard line. Again, Japan rushing 3.
And getting pressure now.
That's a long time to have to cover people, and they couldn't do it. So it's a 1st down. Christian Rene Gomez. Yudai Mariyama was there to make that tackle, but how in the world? That's the double-edged sword to it. You got a lot of people back there, but if you can't get pressure on the quarterback, it's tough to really cover those guys that long.
And a nice job in the pocket, I thought, by Roberto Vega. So about extending the life of that play to keep it alive for his receivers to get open downfield, and then delivers.
Officials timeout, and once again, this is Nagao. Atsushi Nagao has had a really good game for Japan. Listed as a backup coming into this game, but he has picked up some very valuable playing time in this game.
Shouldn't be a surprise that you're seeing a lot of tired defensive linemen for Japan. As much as they've had to rush the quarterback from Mexico, and when you're rushing just 2 or 3, you're trying to get through a heavy amount of traffic. That's a lot of effort on every play.
And when you see games played in the summer like this, I know you automatically think of dehydration and cramps. Tonight, not the case. I mean, this would be
ideal weather.
Yeah, absolutely. Fall. And where you and I come from, this is a November evening.
Exactly.
First and goal. Spun around, threw it, and intercepted. Wow. If you would ever, you say, be careful of what you wish for. You didn't want a sack. He'd have been better off had he gotten one. Kayama with the interception in the end zone, and that ends the Mexico threat with 3:13 to go.
Guilty of trying too hard, if there's ever such a thing, right? All he's trying to do is make a play to help his team in a situation, as you pointed out. There you take the sack and keep the football, even though your coaches have told you we can't take sacks here. But in that case, a sack's better than the interception, because that should do it fairly well for Japan if they take care of the football on this drive.
See where they go with it from here, if they want to keep it on the ground safe, but I wouldn't at all be surprised. That was the 4th turnover for Mexico today.
Remember, their running game is also a short passing game.
Well, they'll keep it there. That's a great play. One thing about Rocky, you snap it to the quarterback, he doesn't have to hand it or fake it to anybody else. Granted, he faked it that time with absolutely no intentions whatsoever of handing the football to Catagua.
It's the first time that he's kept it on the zone read tonight.
Artigas was there to make that tackle, and right now, clock is running. We're under 3 minutes to go, as you see. Japan on top, 42-27.
Sorry, Kevin, they should not snap a football before the play clock reads 3 seconds on any snap here.
Well, they did it at 10 seconds that time.
Way too early.
And Mexico comes up with the stop. College sports fans don't have FCS. We'll call 877 to get FCS or visit foxcollegesports.com. Get over 72 hours of daily college sports programming delivered right to your living room. Fox College Sports, where college never ends. Reminder, coming up tomorrow, Team USA and Team Canada, the gold medal game. 1 o'clock Eastern time, 10 o'clock Pacific. As Mexico calls a timeout with 2:28 to go. But Team USA, you talk about this is the best junior national team they have ever had. They've got a running back, David Wilson, who is headed for the Virginia Tech.
Hokie High, and they're going to love him.
He is somebody to watch.
There are a lot of colleges getting great players from this team at the USA.
It is sprinkled with Ohio State, University of Virginia, Virginia Tech. You name it.
Look at that.
Look at this. Open man caught. 35-yard line, and while he didn't score, that may have been the final nail in the coffin, as it's been another big catch for Osawa, Kenta Osawa. And another perfect throw once again for Araki.
Now, we always talk about what teams do to learn from the United States and try and advance their game. Do you think you might see any of this with a 2-touchdown lead?
No way.
Less than 3 minutes to go, where a guy's going to step back and fling it when you call a game this fall?
You know, maybe sometimes ignorance is bliss, and I don't mean that as an insult. I mean, you know, not knowing or not knowing the way it is usually done. Why not? I mean, every college football coach in the country says, I'll tell you why not. Because those are the kind of plays that cost people jobs.
Yeah, that's the kind of plays that somebody else is in my seat.
That's right, that's right.
But you have to admire Japan, that they have a philosophy and how they go about doing things, and they're not shy at all. I give the head coach there, Coach Yamazaki, a ton of credit. I've seen him go for it many times and do different things over the course of these games that have been played here. So how about that?
Takashiro Hara into the game, and he spins down to the 20-yard line. And now another player is down, this time for Mexico.
Great effort expended on both sides tonight.
Well, they played 3 quarterbacks in the game leading up to this one. Araki, Ando, and Hara. And Hara is down as well on this play. This is a Japanese junior national team that beat Germany 10-7. And then on Wednesday, they lost 20-17 as Canada scored very late in that game. Araki had led a drive and scored with 90 seconds remaining, and Canada got it right back and went right down the field and were able to score. They ran forget the 2-minute drill, they ran the 90-second drill to perfection and won that game in what would have been really the upset so far of this tournament. And, you know, those who seeded this tournament, you can't argue with the way things have gone.
1, 2, 3, 4 in the final 2 games. Mexico was the 3rd seed, I believe, and Japan was the 4th seed.
Absolutely. New Zealand, Germany, France, the other teams in this, along with these 4 that you see right here. Also Sweden, and then, of course, Japan, Mexico, the United States, and Canada. This the bronze medal game. These are players 19 and under. It's the Junior World Championships. The International Federation of American Football.
Nice sportsmanship there. You see the young man from
Absolutely.
Team Mexico patting him on the helmet. These guys are going to leave here with a ton of respect for other countries, other people, and I wouldn't doubt one bit they've all made a bunch of friends that they're going to keep for a long, long time. That text messaging goes a long way, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
You don't have to worry about a pen pal anymore.
That's right. That will supersede cultural barriers. Some things are universal.
In a heartbeat. I can't say enough about the quarterback there for Japan.
I agree.
Yujiro Araki. And so impressive.
Again, 1 o'clock tomorrow. 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. Noon Central, 10 o'clock Pacific time. And this went off right up the middle. And Kitagawa, he is there to take it ahead. And they'll just try to keep this clock running. College football and college sports fans, we become a fan of Fox College Sports on Facebook. Get instant access to all the latest updates, photos, and videos from all of our exclusive college football coverage. That's at facebook.com. Fox College Sports, the place to be. The clock stops with 50 seconds remaining. It's a 2nd down and 6 to go for a 1st down. Timeout Mexico. It's been a tough day for that gentleman, as he is Ernesto Alfaro Del Villar. His team has made a lot of mistakes, and they've not been terribly sharp. And now Japan looks a little bit out of sorts. And Japan calls a timeout. This is another thing. Remember we talked about you're seeing things you don't normally see. You won't see a
team up 2 touchdowns, 50 seconds on the clock.
Calling a timeout.
Protected partner of USA Football and Team USA. From the NFL.
There's the big smile. That's the smile of a winner right there. And to me, they've been so impressive. And overall, I mean, the United States has just been dominant so far. But in terms of the most competitive games that I've seen in this event, Japan has been in 2 of them. Too many guys on the field for Japan. Legal substitution.
Well, the mistakes have been few and far between. Now the formation that every team strives to run.
A little victory, take a knee.
Absolutely, take a knee. So a bronze medal heading the way of Japan. Again, the silver and the gold will be doled out tomorrow between Team USA and Team Canada.
Araki takes a knee for Team Japan.
And a flag comes down from the back judge this time. But what has been an interesting game in terms of Japan got off to the...
Personal foul, number 9, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic 1st down.
A little frustration, I would imagine. Things getting a little chippy at this point.
Jorge Alva.
Yeah, I think there's a substitute coming in for him.
Watch. See, when you run to the sideline, you want to get as far away from the head coach as possible. Instead, ran right by him, but did do the flyby.
As quickly as you can.
Absolutely.
He'll find him later if he truly wants to.
Half minute left, and that should be the last play of this game. So again, a reminder tomorrow, Team USA going up against Team Canada. It'll start at 1 p.m. Eastern time. That's 12 o'clock Central, noon Central. You take a look at our Under Armour players of the game. Araki, 26 of 37, 354 yards. He threw 5 touchdowns in the quarterback from Mexico, Roberto Isaías Vega. 24-41, 266, and 3 touchdowns. In Japan, it's another thing. Usually you see teams in the United States start shaking hands, and well, they waited until the clock read 0 before the celebration began. So the bronze medal goes to Japan. Congratulations, 42-27. An impressive display by Team Japan in this game. And now you'll see the flags waved, and you'll see the sportsmanship from both of these teams as they will line up. After congratulating one another, they will line up along both 40-yard lines and come out, shake hands after the MVPs of this game are announced. It is all about Yuichiro Araki leading the way for Team Japan. 42-27, your bronze medal champions. Back in a moment.
42-27 the score as Japan wins it. They take the bronze medal alongside Samantha Steele, Kevin Eschenfeld, and Charles Davis with you here upstairs. And nice display of football that we saw, American football by both of these teams tonight. Congratulations to Japan as they get the victory. Vega was tough. That man right there, Yuichiro Araki, the MVP for Japan. And, Charles, from both of these teams, I'm very impressed with what we saw. Granted, a lot of mistakes by Team Mexico in this ballgame. Japan, they came in here with a plan. One thing to coming in with a plan, there's another thing to executing that plan. They certainly did.
Without question. And the guy that we saw there, Yuichiro Araki, the quarterback, was the mastermind of everything. Delivered the ball efficiently, crisply. Made very few mistakes during the ball game, as is their want. I mean, Japan, very good that way. Mexico turned it over too many times, but the key was Japan made them pay every time they turned it over.
Yeah, you see, this was right. This was the opening kickoff, or the ensuing kickoff after the opening score. The first time that Mexico even got a chance to touch the football, and it ends up right there. Junpei Yoshimoto, one of his 3 touchdown receptions on the day. Sad news with him is he was injured later in the game, and maybe we'll get a report on him coming up just a little bit later on. But there's another turnover, 3 turnovers on the day, and they took advantage of it. This one I thought was really the turning point in the game because that came with about 15 seconds left in the first half. And now all of a sudden you go into the locker room with a spring in your step, come right back out in the third quarter, force more mistakes by Mexico.
Yeah, really in the third quarter. We talked about offense so much, and Japan was terrific. I thought Mexico did a nice job on offense, but the game turned in the third quarter when Japan's defense took over and essentially shut Mexico down for the quarter. We saw one of the touchdowns when the punter was unable to field the snap. Turned into a touchdown for Japan, but for the quarter, Japan absolutely dominated it, mainly on defense, and that's when the game got away from Mexico.
Again, the gold medal game comes your way tomorrow here on Fox College Sports, starting at 1 o'clock Eastern. Team USA, the number 2 seed, going against the number 1 seed, Team Canada. Let's do a little bit of a preview on that one because Team USA, I think that maybe the worst thing that happened to anybody in this tournament was that they are the 2 seed, because I think they may be coming out with something to prove in that game tomorrow. It should be very interesting.
And this is the first ever Junior World Championship tournament, all right, with these 8 teams coming here. But there have been things that have been held in the past, NFL Global Challenge events, where a number of these countries have participated. That's why Canada is ranked number 1, based on what they've done in the past prior that maybe the U.S. didn't participate in fully, so on. In any event, the best dose of medicine for the Team USA ever, being number 2 at home in Canton, Ohio for this tournament. They take that motivation with them. For Team Canada, a tremendous amount of pride, and they're not backing down at all. And their quarterback, Jeremy Doyen-Rock, when you see him play, you will enjoy watching him throw the ball to Alex Anthony.
Biggest reason I can say for you to be here tomorrow, if you love college football, and then again, who doesn't love college football? If you're watching this right now, you're going to see a lot of guys going to be playing at big-time programs in 2009 and beyond. So be with us tomorrow starting at 1 o'clock. Once again, the final score, Japan wins it 42-27 over Mexico. The 2009 IFAF Junior World Championships have been brought to you by Walsh University, celebrating 50 years as a Catholic university of distinction. The Pro Football Hall of Fame, America's premier sports showplace and museum. And by Altman Sports Medicine and Mercy Sports Medicine. Once again, the final score, the bronze medal goes to Japan. They win at 42-27. So for Samantha Steele, Charles Davis, I'm Kevin Eschenfelder from Canton, Ohio. Once again, remember, tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, 12 o'clock Central, It is the #1 seed, Team Canada, going against Team USA right here on Fox College Sports. Again, the bronze medal goes to Japan, 42-27, the final score. Have a great 4th of July.